taking on the Toronto Argonauts, and Elks looking for back-to-back victories. Get on a roll. You never know. They wouldn't be the first team to have a slow start in the CFL and make the playoffs in this with a strong second half. So we'll see what happens. But the Elks are just looking to get a win, and Toronto is definitely a team that you should be able to, if you play well, if you can run the ball. Hey, do you think the Elks to get a few sacks? Like, have they had 2 sacks in a game this year? I think once, maybe I'm wrong on that. We'll have to look that up, but I don't know. Yeah, it's been pretty slim pickings on the sack totals for the green and gold. See if it changes tonight against Toronto. It is Friday. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, and tonight, $70 million and 10 max millions up for grabs at PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Good luck tonight. We got lots going on. Mike Hogan's going to join us. We're going to talk Elks and Argos. Lori-Ann Muenzer will be by. Wanye Gretz. Jennifer Lee Chan will join us from San Francisco to talk a little 49ers. Also, we got Patrick Johnson talking Canucks and the Mueller signing. That is pretty big for soccer fans of the Whitecaps. Spec, LT will be by. Also, well, I'm not sure if Cam Tate's going to be okay. So Tater was in the building today. You know, he comes in, and it was his first day in the new digs, and we got him a desk and everything. And so Tater's working, and I walk in, and so you walk down the hallway, and it's kind of like in an open area. And so Tater's typing away at his keys, and I just say, "Hey, Tater." I think he might have jumped out of his wheelchair. I couldn't believe it. And I was dying. Cam's got a really good sense of humor. I'm like, Tater, are you downloading porn over there? Why are you so nervous? It was hilarious. God, did we laugh. I'd never seen Tate, man. Oh, couldn't believe it. I thought for a second there he was going to stand up. He literally, his wheels might have came off the ground. I didn't know that Tater was scared that easily. So we'll have to see. He might be wheeling around here later today. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, I probably shouldn't say nothing because on Fridays I have to read the 2-minute warning. So Tate, it wasn't my fault, man. It wasn't my fault. I didn't know that you were that easily scared. Like, I was from far distance. Tater, like normally you say hi when you enter the room. Hey, con man, thought that's just normal co-worker etiquette.
I think he was just so locked in. I think that might have been the key. The 2-minute warning, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of hard work and focus, and he was locked in, writing out some gold for you, and just caught him off guard, maybe. Or he was looking at something he shouldn't have been. One of the two.
Yeah, well, he wasn't. He was actually listening to Low Tide. So, yeah, that might that in itself, some would say certain days that borders on indecency. So there you have it. We got lots. The weekend, of course, CFL, another game that came right down to the wire last night as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers kind of got some redemption. They get by Ottawa 30-27, and then the Elks will host the Argos tonight. Saskatchewan is hosting Hamilton. The battle of the 2 top teams in the CFL. That's a marquee matchup tomorrow at 1:00 Edmonton time. And then Saturday night has the late game, Montreal on the road in British Columbia. And maybe I guess you'd probably cheer for Montreal on that one, just to keep BC tight, closer to the Elks. Because if the Elks get a win and BC loses, the Elks are then 3-6. BC's 4-6. The Elks have a game in hand for the final playoff spot. Dare to dream. Dare to dream. So there you have it. And then of course MLB has the Jays. Big weekend set going against the Rangers tonight. Mr. DeGrom on the mound. Nice. One interesting storyline. I don't know if how many of you have been following or not, just how red hot the Milwaukee Brewers are in the major leagues of baseball right now. They are rolling. so hot. In fact, like this is outstanding when it comes to a promotion. It's like, do you know, I'm trying to think how many promotions last like decades, because that's what the Milwaukee Brewers promotion goes on for them. It's been going on since, I don't know, 1948. Cons, have you heard about this promotion?
No, I'm
in Milwaukee.
I'm intrigued what it is, though.
Yes. So there's a local restaurant chain in Milwaukee called George Webb. That's just the name of it, George Webb. And so he opened his first counter in 1948. And back then, he promised to give away free burgers if the Milwaukee Brewers, which was then a AAA team, at any point won 17 straight games. They were a AAA team. And when the MLB's Boston Braves moved to Milwaukee in 53, he reduced the requisite streak down to 12 games. So the Braves came and went, right? They left. But the Brewers, an expansion team, played 1 year. They moved to Milwaukee in 1970. But in 1987, they won 12 in a row. So everybody got free burger. 2018, again, free burgers. Last night, they won 12 in a row. So there's 23 locations across the state of Wisconsin, and fans have a 4-hour window where they can claim their free sandwich. And the best part about it is the Brewers starter, Brandon Woodruff, who he was starting last night. And he was asked, he was like, you know what? There was a little bit more at stake today. Man, I really wanted to win. Who doesn't like a burger? Like, think about it. You go on the mound knowing if you win, all of your fans get a free burger. They're talking that they'll probably hand out over 300,000 free burgers. Like, that is unreal. I love the fact that the guy has held on to that since it was originally started in 1948. Now, it's AAA. They went 17. Then when they got to the majors, said, you know what? 17 is a little ridiculous. We'll go to 12, which is still hard, but it's the third time it's happened since they expanded to Milwaukee in 1970. So that is awesome. That's a great, like, for anybody. You don't have to be at the game. Just anybody who's a fan. You got your 4-hour window to redeem your free burger. Then away you go.
Is there a better in-game promotion than the like Oil King score in that minute and everyone gets free chicken or whatever it might be? Like, that gets the crowd going. It's so amped up when that happens. Any food giveaway is going to be good, but I like that one, Gregor. And I got to think it works out pretty good for, was it George Webb? Pretty good advertising.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I would think so. So I'm trying it. So can you think of another really good promotion? If you can, let us know. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Like, minor league baseball has some classic ones, but those are more like, day of promotion. Something like this. What's unique about this, Cons, is you don't have to be at the game. This is for anybody in the state of Wisconsin.
And can you go, hypothetically, could you cheat the system and go location to location?
Well, I guess if you're a real piece of garbage.
You're just really hungry.
Like, wow, you're out. Why? Like, why? Why are you trying to be a scam artist here?
I'm just curious. Is there some sort of documentation that has to be provided? Hypothetically, because you know what, Gregor? People aren't good. People are bad.
Well, when you're putting the idea out there for them, yes. Now you're part of the problem. You're some guy in Wisconsin, right? Will be tuning in and be like, hey, that Connor Halley just gave me a great idea.
They look like good burgers. One might not be enough.
Yeah.
For the record, I've never, when people leave Halloween candy out, I've never taken more than my one piece. So it wouldn't be me who does it. It's just, I think someone might take advantage of it.
I have a question. So if you have a Halloween candy at your home and you get like the mini chocolate bar ones, which is like 2 things of caramel, do you only give one out at a time?
Last year I gave 2 chocolate bars and a bag of chips.
Like 2
little ones. Yeah.
Okay. So that's my point.
2 minis and a bag of chips.
So, like, to me, if somebody, like, I know people are like, well, I want to go out and experience it. I'm like, okay. But then they get mad. I'm like, well, no, it's kind of your responsibility. You can split it up. Mom goes for an hour. Dad goes for now, or maybe mom goes one year, dad goes the next year. Like, what are we like? Let's be real here. You're not missing that much, right? I went trick or treating with my kids. Some year I go, some year my wife goes. As they get older, obviously you don't have to go. But I remember when they were little, like you go to 5 houses and then they're coming back, like depending on how old they are. So I don't know. I've always kind of the need that both parents have to go, or I don't know. Maybe obviously if you're a single parent, well, that's different. So
did you take your son when he was like unable to walk?
No,
because I don't want to show up at people's doors holding him, asking for candy. Obviously, it's for me.
No. We took him to Grandma and Grandpa's house so they could see him in his little Kermit the Frog costume, and so we did that, and I think we went to our neighbors.
That's fair,
right? That was it, like that, and I think even when he was like 2 and could walk like a few steps, he went to like 2 houses.
Yeah,
because A, he wasn't eating candy. B, he didn't really get it. So, once he could I think it was 3, and he's a December birthday. So he was 3, almost 4.
Yeah.
When he kind of first went, the like a time where he kind of gets it. But even then, like how many houses you go to? Like he's got his little jack-o'-lantern, and it was like maybe 10 houses, and it was fun. Right? But yeah, it wasn't like now I expect him, like you go out trick-or-treating. Like now what's funny about him is he doesn't he'll collect all the candy, but then he gives a lot of it away to his friends. We also at some of those rehabilitation places, they're looking for sure. So we'll drop off. Yep. So
very nice.
That's where we take some of his candy, because he only really eats chocolate bars and chips. He doesn't like any chewy candies. He doesn't eat any gummies or anything like that. Just doesn't eat suckers. And I'm pretty lucky. He doesn't really drink pop, right? Doesn't like carbonated stuff. Like he won't drink carbonated water. He just doesn't like carbonation. So that's kind of his thing. Now he likes to go out. He actually, for the first time, he has a plan on what his costume is going to be, which is like, usually he's like, I'm not even sure I want to go. And then he always decides last week he wants to go. But he's big into Monopoly right now. So he's going to go as like I can't remember the character's name. The guy who's Mr. Monopoly.
I thought it was just the Monopoly man. Mr. Monopoly, yeah.
Well, I think he has an actual name, but I don't know what it is. But
Pennybags?
Yes.
Milburn Pennybags.
Yes. Got the mustache, the top hat, the cane. That's what he wants to go with.
That's good. I like that.
So I was like, great. He's kind of getting into it. So I love sitting out and handing out the candy, because then I get to see all the kids who come by, and you get to see all the different costumes. Now, kids from hockey or soccer, and kids in the neighborhood. So have a little fun with them. I definitely don't make them sing, but I always have a few little jokes with them. I would like to scare them though once. Like I've thought about that. Like, remember going to those Halloween houses, and somebody would have like a box out there, and then people would jump out of the box and scare you, kind of like we did to Cam Tate earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just not creative enough. Like I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. So I don't think I could build it, but I've thought about it. It's one of those things, you always think about, this is a good idea, and then you never do it. That's me at Halloween. I would just like to do it, but never have. Tough loss for Canada today at the Helinka. In a shootout, they lose to the United States. So the Gretzky Helinka tournament, Canada will not be getting gold. Oh my God, break it up. Everybody's going to freak out now, but I don't think that's the case. Few texts flying in already. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Canada's going to play Finland in the bronze medal game, in case you're wondering, and it's to be Sweden and the U.S. in the gold medal game. Sweden and the U.S. have each won the gold once in the Helinka Gretzky Cup history. So there you have it. Hey, guys. Curious about the Elks game tonight. I'm going, what's the weather look like? Dude, sorry, we're not meteorologists. You would never want to trust my... I'm reading all of the reports, same as you. I would plan accordingly. I would dress with some outerwear. Maybe bring a light rain jacket and a hoodie. But you know what? It's supposed to not have any rain, but that could easily change. Like I would not want to be a meteorologist on a day like today. Let's just say that. But you know what? I found a pair of tickets, actually. So if any of you out there who, you know what, you're not sugar, you won't dissolve even if it does rain, and you want to go to the game tonight, I actually have seats under the overhang. So even if it rains, you're warm, you're dry. Do you want to go? 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Text in Elks and just say that you're clearly not a fair weather fan if you want to go to the game tonight. And don't worry, you'll be under the underhang. So that's great. You'll be nice regardless of the weather. You will be dry.
Gregor, we have another pair actually as well from Play Alberta.
Okay, well, there you go.
Two
Even
pairs.
better. So if you want to go 833-401-1440. Also, junior football, the Wildcats, their home opener goes tomorrow against the Winnipeg Rifles. They're playing at the Emerald Hills in Sherwood Park. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to talk about the big matchup tonight on the Gregor Show, Positive Friday edition, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
McDonald's Summer Drink Days are here. Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's Summer Drink Days. Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at volvocarsedmonton.com.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair. They'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast.
Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
If you're thinking of switching to co-op propane, there's no better time than now. Eligible customers who switch to co-op propane will receive up to 750 liters of free propane. New customers will get a free tank rental for 1 year. For home, farm, cottage, agricultural, or commercial endeavors, Co-op is ready to look after all your propane needs. Speak to a Co-op Fuel Team member about the benefits of switching to Co-op propane today.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring Tridem, tandem, and single-axle trucks with cab and chassis, day cabs and tractors, digger derricks, hydrovacs, man lifts, pickers, and refuse compactors. Info at maauctions.com.
I'm Darcy Spady. I'm from Three Hills, and I don't want to be Prime Minister. As an engineer and a farmer, I've built all my life, and I know that now, here in Alberta, it's the time to build. Life needs to be more affordable. Canada needs to be an energy superpower, and we need to make our communities safer. On August 18th, you have a choice. You have a candidate who sees this riding as a pit stop, or you have a candidate who understands East Central Alberta. Vote for me, Darcy Spady.
Authorized by the official agent of Darcy Spady.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's next major public unreserved industrial auctions are next Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. These major unreserved auction events include multiple auction lanes, selling a large selection of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth Double E football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
I love it. We got a lot of I'm not a fair weather fan texting in. Fantastic. It's great. Elks Nation actually got us another pair. So we have 3 pairs of seats. So we'll give those away here. So good luck to all those who text in. Conman will be picking out, and you'll be heading down to the game tonight, the Elks and the Toronto Argonauts, as it's time to get to our CFL report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. If you want to work for a fantastic company, very competitive wages. Also, you get a hiring bonus. You will have a RSP matching, tuition reimbursement, and a great place to work. Apply today, legacyheating.ca. A good friend of the show. Haven't spoke to him in a while. A longtime voice of the Toronto Argonauts, Mike Hogan. Hoagie, how you doing, my man? What's going on?
You don't phone, you don't write. What's going on?
Yeah, it has been a while, my man. Glad to hear that that things are going well. And I'll say this, man. I know you've been a long-time supporter of the CFL. And, man, the last few weeks in the CFL have been some of the most competitive, entertaining games we've seen in quite some time.
It's been crazy. All 4 last week, although the Argos were on the short end of one of them. Those games were nuts. And just when you think they can't get any weirder, last night happened. That was insane. So from an entertainment standpoint, I don't know how you beat 5 straight games like that.
Looking at that Argos game, and they lose to Ottawa 46 to 42. High scoring game. Nick Arbuckle threw for over 300 yards, had 3 passing touchdowns. And you look at how would you like Arbuckle's been around the league for a long time. He's never necessarily been like a long time starter, but when he gets opportunities, he can still chuck the ball down the field and make plays.
Yeah, and I think he showed that to a lot of people who had doubts about him. And it actually started in a game in Edmonton last year, in the last regular season game, where he went nuts after Cam Dukes, who was the starting quarterback at the time, got hurt at the end of the first quarter. And he came in and threw for over 300 yards in 3 quarters and was just nuts. And then, obviously they went back to Chad Kelly in the playoff game. He dismantled Ottawa fairly handily. And then they were beating Montreal in the East Final, and Chad broke his leg pretty badly at the end of the third quarter. Yeah. And, Nick came in and played really well in the fourth quarter, got them to the Grey Cup, and then won the Grey Cup and was named the game MVP, which is just one of those stories that if you wrote it for Hollywood, they wouldn't believe it or accept the script. So yeah, he's played really well. And, there have been a lot of reasons why the Argos are 2-7. I don't think Nick is one of them. He has thrown 10 interceptions this year, but he does have 16 touchdowns. I think he's second in the league in passing yards. Has put up 3 straight 300-yard games and has looked really comfortable. And here's maybe the oddest stat in the CFL, and Edmonton's got a couple of these as well. But at the midway point of the season, the Argos' leading rusher is Nick Arbuckle.
Yeah, it's great. I was just going to lead you, like, their running game, like Edmonton, 2 of their last 3 games, they've literally had no run attack, like virtually nothing. And the Argos are the one team I was looking up beforehand. I'm like, geez, they don't run the ball very much either. How come?
I don't know. The offensive line hasn't had a great season as a group. Every time they try to run the ball, it's not working. They had a guy that had kind of taken over as number 1 back here, Mayan Williams, nicknamed Chop, played at Ohio State, was a touchdown machine there. He's a big back. He's like 230, 235, and he was punishing guys, but he got a concussion in the game against Ottawa in Ottawa. And so he's on the 6-game list. But, they've tried different guys. Deontay McMahon looks better as a pass catcher right now. He can't seem to find his groove running the football, and that's not on him as much as it is probably the offensive line. So once that group cleans itself up and, the parts are there, but the puzzle isn't complete for whatever reason. And that's been maybe offensively the biggest problem. But as a team, I mean, you count special teams and defensive touchdowns, and the Argos have averaged in the last 7 games 32 points a game. That'd be outscoring every other team in the league.
Yeah. Well, looking at the Argos, they score a lot. They give up a lot, Mike. Them and Edmonton, if nobody's given up more points. So we had a 46-42 game last week. Are we expecting a high-scoring game tonight?
You know why I think not? Because I really think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And every time I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, it's not.
Okay.
So it'll probably be like 4-3 tonight. No, this again, you look at the pieces of the puzzle back there, and they've got some good players. And just for whatever reason, it's not working. And the pass rush has been really fine. Here's another one of those really weird stats. Andrew Chatfield comes over. Nobody had heard of him. He played in Ottawa. Greg Marshall comes over as the defensive line coach. And when basically every defensive lineman on our team last year signed in Edmonton, they had to find some guys. And Greg Marshall said, we got this guy in Ottawa last year. Maybe you kick the tires on him. He has 6 sacks this year to lead the league. Edmonton has 5 as a team.
Oh, I know.
That's weird, especially with the talent there, like Robbie Smith and Serezna and Brinkman. And, they've got some guys who can play there. And, we saw Brandon Barlow as well here in Toronto. That's a good looking front four. So that's to me, one of the big surprises in the league is that they have 5 sacks in 8 games. That's crazy to me.
No, well, Mike, I was going to ask you because you saw these guys last year. They won a Grey Cup. They've been very good players. And now part of it is maybe sometimes, there's a lot of passes short in the flat, so you don't necessarily have time to get to the quarterback in some of those. That's a small part of it for sure, because Edmonton's secondary, not so much the last few games, but early on the season was definitely playing a little bit soft. But I look at that group and I'm like, they should be better. And the crazy part is, I don't know how many times they've actually had pressure, but they can't take the quarterback down. Like, they're around him and all of a sudden they're getting juked and jived out. And like, they should be better than that. It's just that it's been a very odd first half from the defensive line of the Elks.
I'd love to see a stat in pressures, not just sacks. I know Flo Rimolade was all around quarterbacks last year and just didn't finish, but I don't know how many times you get pressure on a guy and it would lead to an interception. So you don't need sacks, but still at the same time, that's an insanely low total where, Jake's got 1 and Brink's got 1. And on the D line, I think that's it. And that just doesn't make sense to me. And it's not like they're playing for a new coach, right? D-Max was with Jake in Edmonton. All of them were together here last year, aside from Barlow with Demetrius here in Toronto, and they all go back. So it's not like they're seeing, a new guy and trying to figure out a scheme. It's just one of those mysteries, one of those things that makes football great.
Yeah, well, you definitely, if somebody could figure out why, they would, the Elks would probably pay him a lot of money, because they definitely need a little bit more pressure. There's no debating that. Mike Hogan joins us. What about the Argos defense, Mike? Is it a concern by how much they're, because, Edmonton's the only team that's been averaging more points against per game than the Argos.
Yeah, it's obviously a concern. I mean, they couldn't make a stop last week. And, the week before that, they totally took Oliveira and Dembski and those guys out of the game and looked great in Winnipeg. The offense scored, I think, 19 points, but they lost the game because they gave up 2 return touchdowns and a pick 6 or a fumble recovery. So they can't get all 3 phases going at the same time. There always seems to be 2 of the 3 that are having an off night. So, you look at guy, I don't know if there's a better defensive player in the league than Cameron Judge this year. He's just been stupidly good. Winton McManus, though he was injured for a while, he is still Winton McManus. Chatfield leads the league in sacks. Benji Franklin had 4 picks in 3 playoff games last year. Tavares McFadden is a ball hawk as well. He's got 3 picks this year, but you guys have seen, Darius Bratton out there, he can play a little bit. So they've got some really good pieces of the puzzle. And again, it's just, they're not putting it together, and it's one of those mysteries.
You mentioned statistically, sacks, interceptions, they've done quite well overall. Why so many points against them?
That's a good question.
Are they just getting exposed on big plays?
The one. Yeah, and it's not even the 50-yard bombs. The thing that's killed them, and I'd love to see this stat, is I don't know how many times this year there's been a sack or a penalty, and a team has faced a 2nd and 17 and converted it. And that just has happened a lot. And I don't know why. Derek Sluka is a rookie. He's playing safety, and he's been burned a couple of times, but he's also made some really big plays. And, in the game in Ottawa, he was a human highlight film with a missed field goal return for about, I think, 73 miles was the eventual final on that one. And he had a 100+ fumble return for a touchdown as well. Once he settles down a little bit, and it's not been a consistent thing, but there have been some breaks there. But it's a really good group. And, they've made a change this week, a couple of changes actually. Brandon Dozier, who had been on the beach after being released by Hamilton, he's going to come in and start at the Sam linebacker spot. And they're moving McFadden into the field halfback spot from the corner, and Jonathan Edouard, the Canadian, is going to play, a national player, is going to play at the field corner. So one small change in the secondary and a significant one at the Sam linebacker spot, which I guess is the secondary.
Yeah, you mentioned the kick return issues. Was that a one game off, or has special teams been less than special for the Argos?
They've been really less than special this year, and it's got to be killing the special teams coordinator, Mickey Donovan, because in his tenure in Toronto, they've been really good. A part of the problem was obviously two of their best players were both on the 6-game list in terms of special teams players. Jack Cassar is one of, if not the best special team player in the league, and the real leader of that group is a guy that nobody knows, but if you watch film, you know who he is, and that's Brian Harry Limana, who is just technically sound and doesn't ever seem to be out of position. But they've just not made tackles. Last week they had is Dan Adebaboye on a kickoff return. They had him wrapped up at the 20-yard line, and you blink and he's on the Argo 6, right, because of a missed tackle. That's happened way too many times this year, and I don't know what it is. It's just very strange that I don't know, maybe it's karma where everything that's gone well for the Argos for 4 years is coming back to bite them this year. But the team has been in basically every game, but in games decided in the last 3 minutes, they're 0-5 this year. If they were 2-3, they'd be in a playoff spot.
Yeah, it's Mike. It's like you've read my sheet of what I want to talk about today, because
I have spies everywhere.
You do. The Argos' inability to close out games, like Edmonton, like the Argos are a defending champ. Like they should be a team that knows how to win, whereas the Elks have been a team that knows how to lose. Like they've cost themselves. That Hamilton game. Wide open in the end zone, you drop the ball. That's that should be a win. But the Argos, you're like lots of close games. They're in every game. When you look at the final 3 minutes, that's the definition of making the mistake at the most inopportune time? Is that what's killing him?
One of the things that Coach Dinwiddie said on multiple occasions this year is the team is still learning how to win, which is odd for a team that's won as much as it has in the last 4 years, including a couple of Grey Cups. But I think as a team, you've got some guys who come from other organizations that maybe didn't have the most success, or are coming in here from a college program, or just haven't figured it out here and haven't, tuned into what's happening here. Offensively, as I said, the team has scored a ton of points this year. And for the most part, these guys have been in the system. Whether or not they were here last year for the full season, most of them have been. Sage Dockstader got here last September, I think. There's a new left tackle tonight in Brandon Kemp, who played in the NFL and has been around a little bit. He was most recently with Hamilton. But they're guys who are just coming in and trying to figure out what Argo football is all about, and they're still learning. And the problem is maybe they don't have the killer instinct that guys have had here over the last 4 years. I would look at that game last year, the one against Ottawa, and if they were in a position where they had a 3-point lead, Ottawa had the ball with 3 minutes left, I would bet my mortgage that Ottawa wouldn't have scored a point, let alone scored a touchdown. That just doesn't seem to be the case this year. And you could do a great thesis on why that is psychologically, or whether guys aren't in the right position, or what usually happens in football is guys are trying to do too much. And they're not only trying to do what they have to do, they're trying to help out the guy that's next to them. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to turn into a problem rather than a solution.
Mike Hogan joins us. Mike, looking at the Elks, Cody Fajardo's numbers, best completion percentage in the CFL. Now, obviously, he's had fewer starts, but when he's throwing the ball, and because they can't run the ball, he's throwing the ball a lot. What are you expecting from the Argos defense? Are they expecting, it's funny, the Elks, the last 3 games, terrible on the road running. They get their home game, and their running attack was great. Rankin's a really good runner when they actually running the ball. How has that defense been against the run? And do you think that the Elks are going to try to pass a lot tonight?
Well, they were great against Winnipeg a couple of weeks ago. I think that Oliveira's average rush per carry was under 3 yards, which is really tough to do. For the most part, last week, they had Stanback's number, which has been, early in his career, he destroyed the Argos. Like, you could pen him in for 150 yards. In the last few games, it doesn't matter which team he's been on, he seems to have struggled against Toronto, but it was so damn hot and humid. I think the Humidex was about 40 degrees last week. Both defenses really got tired in the second half, and Stanback was able to run the ball, and guys were just kind of missing tackles, and it may have been fatigue and dehydration more than anything else. But they've been pretty good against the run this year. Not great, not horrible, but they've got guys who can certainly get the job done. And when you've got guys like Wynton McManus, Cameron Judge, and now Brandon Dozier at the second level, they've seen everything before and react to plays really well. So that is not necessarily problem number one with the Argonauts this year. So I'm interested to see if Edmonton does try to run the football a little bit more. I just know that with Fajardo at the helm, the Argos better be ahead by 9 points with 3 minutes left, or they're in trouble.
Mike, before I let you go, you've covered the league for a long time. There's lots of talk to CFL. They got to make some changes. Now, off the field, to me, number one is that they've got to ramp up their website. It's got to be better. It's got to be more functional. To me, that's a simple thing to fix. Get some techies on it, and away you go. But the game itself, there's always leagues all around have made rule changes. The CFL has made some. There's more talk lately. Where would you come out if the league said, you know what, we might go away from the rouge? Where would you come in on that?
I admit I'm a traditionalist. I can't think of a single rule in the CFL that is not more fan friendly than its NFL counterpart. And I love the NFL. Like, I love both games, but I just think the CFL is a more fan friendly game. Return of kicks, forward motion makes the game faster.
Yes.
Just all of that stuff. The timing in the last 3 minutes. All of this stuff is very, very advantageous to fan engagement, and we've seen the results the last 5 games, at least in the CFL. The one, I guess, if I could probably bend to the rouge on missed field goals going out of the end zone. That's I love the fact that you're rewarded for field position. I know I'm in the minority on that, and I don't care. That's the way I feel, and you asked me. But if I can bend on any of them, that might be the one, is the missed field goal that goes out of the back of the end zone, where the team that catches the missed field goal doesn't have the option to return it.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Like, I actually, to me, I could kind of meet halfway. I could eliminate it off missed field goals. I'd have no problem with it. And we had a really good discussion about it the other day on the show and on the text line with people, and, just looking at things. I agree. Like, Chris Morris had a really interesting answer. He says, I think we could get rid of the rouge because it doesn't change the whole makeup of the CFL. That makes it good is the motion, the pace, and then what you talked about, all the different formations. That's what makes the league great. So as long as you don't impact that, if you change the rouge, he says he doesn't think it would ultimately at the end really limit the excitement for fans or for players.
Okay, let me throw this at you from last night's game. If you can give up take a knee in the end zone on a missed field goal, not give up the point, and get the ball at the 40,
I wouldn't do it.
Ottawa doesn't score that touchdown last night. Period. Full discussion. They take the knee and take it at the 40.
Yeah, and so that's where my rule would be. It would be twofold. I would say, okay, if we're not handing out missed field goal points, great. But if you don't run it out, you only get scrimmage at the 20-yard line. I don't want to push it out to the 40, right? Like, because you can't just do one, because you're right. That's what everybody will do. Well, I'll take the knee. I get field position at the 40. It's a no-brainer. So I want the return still in the game. And if I'm a team, anytime on a missed field goal, I got 5 offensive linemen, Mike. I'm going to want to run the ball out, right? Because in theory, you should have better return. So I would do it would be a 2 rule change for me, because you're bang on. If you just say take a knee and now we're at the 40, well, everybody's taking knees. I want to encourage more returns and have a team to say, hey, you know what? We got to get out of the end zone here. And so then we can get it at the 20. So
a missed long field goal attempt in the CFL, in my books, is the most exciting play in the league.
I agree.
Because everybody's got that guy back there, whether it's Leak tonight, you're going to see for Edmonton, whether it's Janarian Grant for the Argos. If a team misses a long field goal tonight, you tell me that every fan watching in the stadium or on their couch isn't going to lean forward a little bit because they have no idea what's going to happen. But the odds are it's going to be something big.
Yeah, wholeheartedly. I don't want to eliminate that. That's why I would move the field, the line of scrimmage back if you take a knee. So then it's like, geez, I don't want to I'd rather run it out. I got a good chance to get to the 20 anyway. So that's why I would do that one. So Mikey, I love it, man. Always going to talk football with you. Enjoy the game tonight.
We're going to take over this league and run the world at some point, Gregor. It's got to happen.
Well, that would be great. I'd be all over it. Appreciate it, Mikey. Good talking to you. Have a great one.
You too.
That is Mike Hogan, longtime voice of the Argos. A huge fan of and I like what he said. Like, you can love both leagues. I don't really understand the people that have to put down one or the other. I like both. They're different. They've got their strengths of one and strength of the other. Makes it great. I enjoy both. Right? Like you have a few months where both leagues play together. Awesome. But I've got the CFL to start, and then I got the NFL by itself at the end. And it's awesome to me when you have both leagues going. I got a lot of football to watch. I love football, so it's fantastic. But you could pencil me in for the Rouge on missed field goals as long as you change the line of scrimmage if you take a knee, and it make it a little bit more detrimental to just take a knee. That's why I would do it. Quick break here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The 8th annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
Nuges Nuggets. This is Nuges Nuggets, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. What nugget of cooling advice does Nuge have today?
An air conditioner works by blowing air across the cold evaporator coil where the heat is absorbed into the refrigerant. I actually don't know what that means. Kind of like Zach Hyman with goaltender interference. Sorry, Zach. Well, you got me there.
Get no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling. Proud sponsor of Nuges Nuggets.
Edmonton Elks Country Night is back Friday, August 15th against Toronto. Presented by Coconut Cowboy Road, featuring the EE Bull Riding Competition, country music all night long, plus a petting zoo and pony rides for the kids. Tickets start at just $20 at GoElks.com.
VIP prize deadline in Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mike D. Millions Lottery is midnight tonight. The road to exhilaration starts with your BMW convertible VIP prize, a new BMW X-Drive convertible, or $100,000 cash. And you're in to win the $2.5 million grand prize, a luxury show home plus $100,000. BMW convertible VIP prize deadline is midnight tonight. Buy early and win more at MikeDMillionsLottery.com.
Are you relying on credit cards to make ends meet? Are you making just the minimum payment and carrying a balance month after month? It's time to break free from the debt spiral and take control of your finances. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. During a free consultation, I can explain all your debt relief options and stop your credit card bills from piling up. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Jump in OTR's party shuttle buses to Elks games and concerts at Commonwealth. To see all upcoming bus events, visit ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:46. Welcome back. It's Positive Friday. Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as always. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Congratulations to Dennis and Blair, who are going to the game tonight. Cons, who's the other winner?
Great question. I have it here somewhere.
Oh, lost it already, eh?
They've been sent. Brian, yeah.
Okay, there you go, Brian. Well, thanks.
So we've made an old guy very happy.
To Elks Nation and PlayAlberta.ca for the tickets. Enjoy the game tonight. And we were looking because now we're professional meteorologists, of course, and it looks like the clouds are supposed to clear up and should be good by 4:00. So hopefully that sticks tonight for the game. Looking forward to it. Should be fun. Now let's talk to an Olympic champion about some interesting ongoing in the cycling world. Of course, joins us every Friday. Of course, gold medalist, the Olympics, and she is a mental coach, Lori-Ann Muenzer. Lori-Ann, how you doing?
Doing awesome. Happy Friday, Jason.
Now, I know you and Connor spoke about the new velodrome that's coming here in like 4 months, right? It's going to be ready early January. I just want to follow up on that because I was listening to it, the part of the conversation, and how just if you can put into words what this means to the cycling community.
Well, for the cycling community, it really confirms that Edmonton is the center of the universe and the cycling universe. So to be able to have an indoor covered track means, number one, we don't have to shovel the snow during the winter to get a small strip clear so that you could actually ride on a really nice day. But you can ride pretty much every day of the year except for Christmas and probably New Year's Day. So the training level from recreation to I'm going to call it Olympic level is going to be here. There's going to be the opportunities to have international racing. I believe there is a junior elite race that will be one of the first ones run here. It is a world-class facility. When you walk in, Jason, it faces right in your face. You can see the top area of where the riders would be. So as you're walking in, it is right there. There's lots of seating for spectators. You can go in, you can watch. You're not even going to mingle with them. The track is about a 47-degree banking, which looks really steep. I was standing beside it, and it was like, wow, this is really cool because it gives you a total different perspective of why you have one gear, no brakes, because it's your power of pushing the pedals, turning them over, that actually keeps you upright. Whereas like on a mountain bike or a road bike, you can coast, you can float, you can soft pedal. On track, you're always turning your legs. So it's like an adult version of a tricycle, but you're strapped in or locked into the pedal. So you can really never come out of it unless you crash or you come off and then, you take your feet out. So it's that momentum that you generate, the energy that keeps you upright. And then you learn how to contract your quads or speed them up to go faster or slower.
So you meant with the now that degree, is that like a normal, like is that an Olympic degree, or do different tracks have different degrees depending on where you race?
Every track is a little bit different. It's different in steep or pitch, and it's also different in lengths because Burnaby had a 200-meter track. Calgary, I think, has an outdoor 400-meter track. We have a 333 outdoor track from the 78 Commonwealth Games here in Edmonton. And this track is going to be Olympic world-class distance, which is 250 meters around. So a little different tactics, a little different training, negotiations. But, oh man, it is so much fun riding a 250-meter track because you really don't have time to make an error. You have to be so precise. 333 meters, like our outdoor track, you have a little more room where you could make up maybe a second or two, But 250, I mean, it's tactic, it's cat and mouse. You got to know where you are. You have to know where your opponent is and what you're doing.
So if you look bigger picture, will like the Canadian team train here more for local cyclists? Like, is this going to give them a significant leg up to improve and become more competitive globally?
Oh, absolutely. And having a velodrome here in the West, there's one in Milton, Ontario. So that is where all of the indoor track has been training. Like that's where Lori-Ann Muenzer, where Kelsey Mitchell have been training for about 4 or 5, if not 6 years. This gives us the ability to train here, to have more of a grassroots level coming up, working towards the elite level, really developing the athletes, as well as there's going to be master's programs. So the older athletes, us mature athletes now, it's going to be able to give everybody the opportunity, 1, to come check it out. Number 2, to get involved. Number 3, if you want to ride the track and learn how to do that, there are going to be programs so that, anybody, all of us can come out, and if you really want to try it out, we're not going to start you up at the top end. We'll start you down on the bottom. I call it, sort of like the sidewalk. And you just start to get the feel of it. You don't go right up, to the very top, because you'll probably slide down, because you have to learn how to negotiate the bicycle, get comfortable with it, and of course, slow your heart rate down, because it's probably going to pop out of your chest a little bit the first couple of times you go.
Now, the Alberta 50 or 55 plus provincial summer games are getting ready in Leduc coming up next week, the 21st to the 24th. There's the individual time trial. Are you participating in that?
Well, I think I'm going to be participating, but in a very different way, Jason. So on Friday, I'll be out there next week, and I'm hoping that I could be a holder for all of the racers there. So it's 10 kilometers for recreational cyclists. So it's literally you get set up and you ride your 10K. For competitive cyclists, it's 20K. So I think it's 2 laps around the route that they have in Raleigh View. Fastest person wins, so it's really you against the clock, against everybody else. There's 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, and the classification for 85 years plus. So I can't wait to see who comes out.
There's an 85-year plus classification. Are there people still in that? Seriously?
Well, I'll be able to report in next week. I don't know who or what the start list looks like, but there is, every 5 years, there is a category. So you've had to pre-qualify for the games that are happening next week in all of the sports. So there's different, qualifications within Alberta. And time trial on Friday, and on Saturday, they have the road race. So 20 kilometers for recreational riders, and then 40 kilometers for those who are still competitive, which is amazing.
And what's the time trial for 55 plus? Like, do you know what the qualification time is?
I don't know, but I believe that you would have had to have already pre-qualified by doing and participating in a sanctioned individual time trial. ITT is what they call it for short. So that would give you the qualification. There's probably anywhere between 10 and 20 kilometers, all depending on what the sanctions were. And then it allows you the ability to come and compete, race, participate, and have a lot of fun.
I would just be curious. Maybe we'll try to get that answer for next week, just for the average person to know, okay, this is how fast I'd have to be just to qualify.
Yeah, well, here, I'll give you something to think about. When I first started cycling in 1987, they had a thing called the 40-kilometer time trial. And it was like, okay, no problem, right? Or so I thought. And it was literally a square or a rectangle format. So all right-hand turns, safe. And they sent us off in 1 minute mark. So the first person would go 1 minute later, the next person, and so on. So you're thinking, all right, this is going to be no problem. So you go out. And the problem is you end up going out so hard, so fast, you you kind of gas yourself. So you don't want to do that. But then the thing is, when somebody comes up behind you, like I had 2 guys come and pass me, which meant it was the guy who was a minute behind me and the guy who was 2 minutes behind me. So the objective, of course, just like in the Tour de France, because of course you're riding just like one of those racers, is to stay ahead. So it's almost redlining, going as fast as you can without blowing yourself up. And hopefully either you catch the rider in front of you because you're going fishing, you're trying to reel them in as, having a carrot in front of you, but you're also trying to stop the guy behind you or the gal behind you from catching you. So it's a crazy game in your head because you think, you're doing really good. And then it's like, there's different milestones and metrics that you have to measure. Can you keep your speed the same pace for 10 kilometers, or if you're competitive, 20 kilometers? I can tell you, I've never done a 40-kilometer time trial under an hour and 10 minutes. And I thought I was doing pretty good. Like, it's hard. It's hard because that means you're averaging over 30K an hour.
Yeah. So, you're on hills and stuff. It's not just a straightaway, right?
No, it's not flat. It's not flat. There's hills, there's rollers, there's descents. Sometimes there's a cornering. So you get a bit of everything.
Do you know, so this is out by Rollyview, out in Leduc, you're mentioning, as Strutty likes to call it, Rolling Hills Classic. But do you know what the track is, like what the course is?
It is on the website, and it is literally a rectangle. So it is actually a bit of climbing with the elevation. Then you head into a bit of a drop. So there's a small descent, there's another climb, and then you're climbing again here. So the elevation, it looks flat, but it's not flat.
No, I grew up around there, so I've driven Rollyview and through those hills. I know when we did I'm guessing you come down the main one, then you turn right off of the 50th Street Beaumont one, and you go right up. That's a pretty significant hill, actually. It's a good climb. They used to do it on the MS Bike Tour, and I would see quite a few people who tried to start it, but ended up having to get off their bike and walk the last part because it's a sneaky steep hill.
It's not a 3% train grade, that's for sure. And the one thing that I would, share with anybody who is going out and riding that hill is, number one, your RPMs, your cadence, the revolutions of your pedaling. You want to keep it where you're pedaling versus pushing, because if you start pushing, that's when you start running out of gears, and that's when the elevation will start to eat your legs and your lungs. So if you can keep that 90 revolutions a minute as your target, if you start getting underneath it, if you can choose another gear just to keep the legs spinning, that is always the objective. And it's that fine line, Jason, of, am I going to give too much energy and run out of gas, or did I not push it enough?
No, yeah, I'm sure that's the challenge. I have one quick little question for you, Lori-Ann. I'm better going up hills than I am maintaining a pace on a long straightaway. Why? What am I doing wrong in the long straightaway?
Probably, I would say on the straightaways, if you're having a hard time maintaining your speed, you're probably not engaging your hamstrings as much as you think. When you engage the hamstrings on the flats, you end up thinking about the reverse pedal stroke. So on hills, you're pushing down. So from 12 o'clock till 6. Yeah. When you're on the flats, you want to think about scraping the mud off of your shoe. So from 6 o'clock till about 10 or 11 o'clock on a clock, if you're thinking about it. And the only thing on the flats you really should be focusing on is pulling up, because your leg will automatically go down. If you're slowing down, you're losing power. And that comes from technique, which is the drill I always give my athletes is scrape the mud or something the dog left you in the backyard that you stepped on. Everybody's foot comes up with that one. But you have to engage all of your quadriceps, your hamstrings, so the top of your leg, the underside of your leg. Whereas in hill climbing, most people are just stomp, 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 and they get up the hill. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that does make sense. So awesome. So Lori-Ann.
I got one quick thought for you. If you want to figure out if your hamstrings are engaged, unclip one foot and only pedal with the 1 foot. So put it in a gear that's not too hard, not too easy, and see how smooth of a circle, not a square, not an ellipse, but a circle that you can pedal with one leg. Try it for maybe 30 seconds to a minute and then flip to the other leg. I wouldn't do more than 3 sets because your legs are going to get quite tired, but you'll figure out if you're a square dancer, if you like doing ellipses, or if you actually spin a circle.
Oh, I like it. A square dancer. That's sadly, I feel like I might be a square dancer on the bike. So I like that. I can visualize that. Anybody listening can visualize unclip and just try to push to see if you're a circle or not a rectangle square dancer. Well, it's not a rectangle, it's a square dancer, but you know what I meant. So
absolutely.
Awesome. Great stuff, Lori-Ann. Really appreciate it. Have yourself a great weekend.
And you as well. Take care.
That's Lori-Ann Muenzer. So congrats to all those who have qualified, and good luck in the races up by Leduc and Rolly View, Struds. Not Rolling Hills, Rolly View. The 21st to the 24th. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hockeyology. It's getting down to the wire, getting set for camp. You want to get the fine-tuned shooting, skating, tech. Try it all out at 01.ca. It's an opportunity. You get to choose which classes you go in, 01.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
It's a game day in the City of Champions with the Elks hosting the Argos down at Commonwealth. Kickoff 7 o'clock. Grab your tickets at goelks.com. In the majors, Jays taking on the Rangers, kicking off their series. First pitch, 5:07 at the Rogers Center. Elsewhere, Brewers taking on the Reds. You got the Guardians and the Braves, Marlins, Red Sox. Mets host the Mariners. Tigers taking on the Twins. Yankees in St. Louis. And the Dodgers hosting the Padres earlier today. Cubbies hauling it home to the Pirates 3-2. At the Helinka Gretzky tournament, Canada fell to the U.S. in a shootout earlier today. With that, the Americans will play Sweden tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for gold. After they got past the Finns in overtime, Canada meets those Finns for third spot, also at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And BMW Championship right now, you've got Robert McIntyre atop the leaderboard at 14 under par. Scotty Scheffler through 14 is 9 under when it comes to the Canadians. Taylor Pritchett leading the way, -2. Nick Taylor's even, and Corey Connors 1 over par. WNBA action tonight. The Caitlin Clark plus Fever host the Mystics at 5:30, followed by the Valkyries in Sky. Wings host the Sparks Storm in Vancouver, taking on the Dream, and you got the Mercury up against the Aces. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, Wanye Gretz of Oilers Nation. We'll talk some Niners with Jennifer Lee Chan from NBC Bay Area. And we'll hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Yes, it's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though. For limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and
But
other
just
various
try to
travel
push to
across
see.
Western Canada.
Awesome.
For more information and to
Great
request
stuff,
a quote,
Lori-Ann. Really appreciate it.
call
Have yourself a great weekend.
1-877-748-0991
Thank you as well. Take care.
or visit silentrides.ca.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How are you? Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We got big plans for the weekend. Whatever you do, have some fun. Get outside. Enjoy it. Should be okay weather. I can't guarantee great weather, but should be okay weather. So, hey, guess what? It's the weekend. So even if it's bad weather, it's still better than the weekday, is it not? Get a little time off, do a little relaxing. You know what would be even better? If you went to playalberta.ca, got your tickets for tonight's Lotto Max, $70 million. Imagine the fun that you could have. You could help a lot of people. You could help yourself. 10 max millions as well. So you have until 8:30 tonight. That's Mountain Time to get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca. We got a lot of text flying in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, if healthy and motivated, would you entertain Ryan Johansson on a PTO league minimum contract as a 3-4 center from Rockford? No, I would not. I don't. The Oilers, the Oilers have a lot of bodies. I know there's been, some reports, they're bringing 3 people in on a PTO. I can tell you that is an absolute, well, it's not even a report. It's just a fake guess, which sadly that account does too often. They're not bringing in 3 people on a PTO. I can tell you that guaranteed. They haven't had any conversations about PTOs. They might look at 1, maybe 2, but the Oilers, they don't want a lot of extra bodies around. Like, you got to remember, they got 16 NHL. Like, if you consider Ike Howard an NHL possibility, they've got 16 forwards right now. They don't need more. Like, we're going to bring in another 4th line player. Why? Like, why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense, right? Like, you want the guys who are here to have an opportunity to compete. And so they don't need extra bodies. They have a ton of veterans to get to the veteran rule every game in the preseason. McDavid and Draisaitl will probably play 3, maybe 2 preseason games, because this will be the last year, hallelujah, of 8 preseason games. Last year ever, thank goodness. It'll only be 4 after this, and then it'll be a maximum of 2 for all your veterans who have played at least 100 NHL games. But, Ryan Johansson didn't play a hockey game last year. I don't think the Oilers need another reclamation project for me. So I wouldn't do it. I don't know if anybody else has different different views on this. Hey, boys, I love the rain. No air quality 10+ warnings this August for Manny. It's true. Yeah. And hey, could be worse. You look at Manitoba, you look at Newfoundland. So there's been a lot of smoke. Sadly, we've had our turn in that. Hopefully no one has it next summer. But yeah, the rain can be a little bit of an annoyance at times, but it's short-lived and it's much better than the smoke that rolls in. And we've had that for weeks. So I am with you, Manny, on a positive Friday for sure. As we welcome in Wanye Gretz, who are learning in studio today. Huge Red Sox fan with your Red Sox hat on, eh?
I could not name 3 active Red Sox, gun to my head, but I'll wear the hat. I'll wear the hat proudly.
Why do you have a Red Sox hat? You just like the look of it?
Time for new hats. You know, you get to a stage where you're like, man, this hat I'm rolling with is not looking good. I think I was outside in a rainstorm. So it's time to get new hats, and it was San Francisco and a Boston Red Sox.
So why do you choose that hat, though?
Well, my son said to me, and he's 4, there's dad hats, and that's like the style of hat this is.
That one, like, wow.
Well, he's my son. I'm his dad. Didn't hurt me.
Dad hats. What's a dad? What qualifies as a dad hat?
I think it's just the fit. So it's not like puffy, like more of like a ball cap, like a traditional hat you would see somebody wearing backwards, like a new era. Those type of hats, the style I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah.
Right. So this is different. This is more like a collapsed top. Dad hat. So then I got it and told my son, look, a dad hat. And he said, good listening.
Dad hat.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't even know there's such a term for that.
He told me, though, good listening. Like, he gives me positive reinforcement. Good job, Dad. Good listening.
Good listening. Well, he's obviously listening by saying good listening.
He's listening.
Yeah.
You know what else I'm paying attention to? As you were talking about the Oilers lineup, I'm here on dailyfaceoff.com looking at the line combos. They have the Iceman on the first line.
Yeah, it's off season, dude. I wouldn't.
Well, and every time I look at this, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But I know we're Daily Face-Off, so I don't take us at our own word. But imagine the first line was Isaac Howard, Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman.
Just so you know, Ike. He likes to go by Ike.
The Iceman is what we're going to go with.
Well, you go by whatever you want, but I'll call him Ike.
You're fair.
All right.
I'm going to call him the Iceman.
Yeah, they have Howard, McDavid, Hyman, then they have Draisaitl, Savoy, Podkolzin, and Nugent Hopkins, Mangiapane, Frederick, Henrik Janmark, and Kasperi Kapanen. So under that format, the Curtis Lazar is not there. Jones obviously is not there. Who else am I missing? Geez, I got so many bodies. I can't even figure out who's the other one that I'm missing on that.
That second line can't really be Podkolzin and Draisaitl, Savoy, could it? Could there be 2 rookies?
Oh yeah, they don't have Tomasek. That's the other guy, and he might not be there. I don't know what. Like Tomasek to me is the biggest wild card of anybody because no one knows. But this guy comes over like you have you have rookies who they have penciled in as first and second line. And Tomasek, who's played against men, led a Swedish Elite League in points, led it in goals, in the last 2 seasons. But he's not there. And I get it because not a lot of people know, right? Ike Howard's the new shiny toy.
The shiniest.
Yes. And we'll see. I'm not guaranteeing that Ike Howard plays all season in Edmonton.
According to Daily Faceoff, he's on the top line. I'm wondering if he's a first ballot Hall of Famer or a second ballot Hall of Famer.
For the University of Michigan, he's probably going to be a first ballot for them. You look at the 3 years he had there. I think when his career is over, probably will be in the Michigan State, I should say, not Michigan, but Michigan State. Michigan, by the way, what they get $20 million fine today, con man? Is that what they got for the Harbaugh thing?
Yeah,
Harbaugh. His name was not mentioned once in the report, I believe.
In the article I read, he got like a weird pause of stay charge or some weird thing.
It wasn't Harbaugh. Harbaugh would never. He just gets them to win championships.
Oh,
that's all. Yeah.
Charger guy over
We
here.
should be applauding what he did.
Oh,
he's courageous.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he got them where they needed to be, and then he left. No other reason. Just there was nothing else to accomplish at the collegiate level, so he took that next step.
Wow.
The current head coach is the guy who's the problem.
That's the problem guy.
Yeah,
they got to root him out.
Yeah, and 2-game self-imposed suspension by the University of Michigan, 1 from the NCAA.
Yeah. Okay, but what's the 2-game suspension?
Well, that's the question, right? It's not going to be Ohio State, I don't think.
But who's suspended for these 2 games?
Head coach.
Oh, and so they get to pick when he's suspended?
No. It's 2 games that the school tried to get ahead of it, right? And gave him the 2-game suspension.
Okay.
And then the NCAA was like, no, Coach Moore, 1 more game.
So he got 3 games.
3 games total. Yes.
Okay. And so it starts in their first game of this season, though,
yeah.
correct?
$30 million
Yeah, I saw that. That was a pretty big, well, it's chump change for them, sadly, but still a lot. Do you know where that money goes, by the way? Like, who are they fining to? Because I know, like, when you get a fine in the NHL, it goes to the players' fund. Where does an NCAA fine go to?
It's a good question.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
They say, actually, if it's still correct, they go to Div 1 conferences and independent schools.
Oh, so it basically goes to the smaller schools.
Looks like it helps them out. Yeah,
well, that's probably a big chunk of change for them.
So do you think this is a more widespread thing, or did they catch the only people engaged in this craziness?
See, now I'll be honest. I didn't like. I've dug into the story because I'm curious. I've read some people that I respect on it, and man, I'm getting a lot of different views on this. You know, some people think like you, oh, it's happened. Some, oh, it didn't do anything wrong. Which I'm kind of like, well, if he didn't do anything wrong, how do you get $30 million? Like, come on. But Cons, I know you and Deck follow it lots. What do you think of this?
Well, I would go watch the Netflix documentary about it if you want to get a little bit more information. Connor Stallions, staffer, was spotted at a bunch of different games, you know, looking at the signs and that sort of thing. I think obviously they did something that's frowned upon if they're going to get caught. They're not vacating the national title by any means, or the wins that Michigan had, and it was prior to them winning the national championship, right? So they still built a good team. You don't have to look in too far to the NFL draft. See a bunch of Michigan Wolverines who,
that's true.
You know, were drafted. They had a really good team, really good players. I just think it's, you know, what more can you do? They stole signs. They had this. They clearly did it. They're paying the price for it, but at the same time, they still had a really good team. And
but is like everybody engaged in this?
No, that's the question. Like how? Like is stealing signs? I guess is unethical, right? But if the team's allowing you to do it, right? Although obviously you had to cheat your way to get to see the signs, right? Like has this been? Do you think this is a prevalent issue in college football, or do you think they were very devious and scheming to come up with this?
As I understand it, they were paying strangers to go attend practices of the other team.
I don't know if it was if they were paying or if it was Stallions who was paying.
Who's Stallions?
He was the guy who kind of was on the sideline and put it all together.
I see.
Yeah.
Because as I read it, they were hiring like random people and spent thousands of dollars on tickets to have them attend opposing teams' practices so they could like see what's what. Like, how do you defend against strangers being hired off the street? Like, you can have a list of people.
Just saying,
they're not wearing...
it's unethical is basically what they're saying. You shouldn't do it.
But remember the drone thing with the soccer team?
Yeah, and she got busted.
But like, that's what I'm saying. Is this like a widespread? Is espionage part of coaching in 2025?
It seems to be for some people.
What was the baseball team doing? You know, I'm a big ball fan. I got
that was
Red Sox.
That's when they were smacking the garbage can, and so they were giving away signs.
Like, what is that? That to me is of the same type as drone espionage, as hiring strangers.
I think it's an illustration that there's always people willing to cheat to win, and some of them don't care to what length they will go. I think you have to be naive to think it's not ongoing now. We just don't know who's doing it, but someone's trying to do it without question. And that's a pretty sad state. But when you look, like, you can have lots of really, really good people, and lots of really good teams, and no one does it. And it just takes one, and the perception's there. But I think it's more than one. If you just look at it, you mentioned just examples in baseball and soccer and in college football. You had Deflategate. You had some other things going on in the NFL. Like it is an issue. There's no question about it. And I think if you make the punishment hard enough, that's what, just like our courts, I don't believe we punish. If you make the punishment hard enough, there'll be a lot less. Like, imagine the distracting driving law. You caught on your cell phone. It's a $5,000 fine and a 1-month suspension. Suddenly people wouldn't be on their phone because I drive and I purposely put my phone in my bunk. I'm not on it. And I look at, and not everybody, but the vast majority of people are like, they're driving. Like, I see people reading articles and driving because it's become, well, you know, it's a $200 ticket. Make it hard. Make it so it's so damn punishable. You will say, guess what? I don't really need to read that article while I'm driving on the Henday.
What if it's a self-driving car? Well,
that's obviously a self-driving car then.
That to me is one of the big reasons to get a self-driving car. is that you can text till your heart's content.
If you want to.
You can giggle at memes. You can watch videos of cats playing poker.
True, if you want to. I don't know how many full-on driving cars there are in the Alberta roads right now, but I'm going to guess it's less than 1%.
There's some, though. I'm just
there's
as
some.
the brave new world we go into.
Well,
I know a guy who got a distracted driving ticket, and his car insurance came up 3 months later, and his rates are double.
Oh, well, there. Yeah, let's see. But that's the insurance company. Oh, yeah.
But that's a penalty.
Yeah, well, it's a penalty.
You take it seriously.
Yeah, but I'd rather. And the other thing is, I know not a lot of people are going to agree with me on this one, but I'm a big believer in a little bit of public shaming.
Oh, no. What are you suggesting?
You just have a list of people so you know.
Where? On a poll?
No, just have it on. Here's the coworkers that are distracted drivers.
But where
does
this list go?
Oh, there's Bob. Hey, just it's just like a website.
I see.
Right? Dummies are us.
Oh boy.
Right? Dummydrivers.com.
It's like a billboard on QE2.
Sir, I'd be all over it. Well, I guess you could do that, but that's got to cost you money. It doesn't cost you much to have a very simple website. All right? Here's the people that got busted with distracted driving by being on their phone. They think and we got to go to break, but they think their texting is more important than your safety because that's what you're telling everybody else. You know what? I've got to read the text or I've got to read the meme on my Instagram page. You're not that important. So anyway, if you're driving right now, listening to the show, put your phone away. You can listen. That's great. Put your phone away. You don't need to I cannot believe how many times I'm on the Henday, for goodness sakes. People are driving like 110 and they're reading their phone.
If you agree, text the line.
Well, lots of people text us 10 12 60, but they're not driving. They're in their office. We'll take a quick break. We'll return and talk some football on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit PlayAlberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams. Today till Monday, score dreamy 4-day deals like mattresses starting at just $99 and queen beds starting at just $3.99. Save the tax when you buy 2 or more major kitchen appliances and get free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $4.99 or more. Plus, save up to $400 off smart TVs and over $500 off genuine leather reclining sofas. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way. Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhock beef jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhock beef jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
McDonald's summer drink days are here. Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's Summer Drink Days. Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
How's your summer so far? Are you zipping around in your new truck from Wolf GMC Buick? If not, you should be. GMC employee pricing continues through August on our entire 2025 GMC Sierras, including the Sierra HD lineup. But just August. Who knows what September brings? Costco members save an additional $1,200 on our 2025 Buick lineup and all our new GMC Terrain. We're here for a good time, not forever. Buy the new reliable vehicle and treat yourself. Employee pricing, 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick.
Mr. Rooter connects with Gen Z.
I have 84 followers, as my niece would say. Slay.
No, that's cringe.
How do I get more?
You're a plumber. Make a skibbity toilet joke.
A skibbity what now?
Or make a fashion calendar full of super hot plumbers, plumbers with drip.
Young lady, I'd appreciate it if you'd stop acting so thirsty around my employees.
Burn, Uncle Mr. Rooter.
Slay.
For a plumber who cooks, call Mr. Rooter.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.326. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Hopefully those watching are not in their car. Right? Now, I guess if you're in the back seat, right, or you're in the passenger seat, then watch away for sure. But hopefully if you're driving, you're just on the audio. We would prefer that. Get home safe, or get home if you're going to the game. Either way would allow you to be a little bit safer.
Why is it okay to listen? Why is it okay to listen to the radio? That's not distracting to you, but watching something.
If my eyes are on the road.
Don't you stare at the radio when it's talking? I do.
No, I don't.
You don't?
Oh no, why would I?
Oh, if I'm driving down the road and I hear you say something wacky and I'm listening, I look at the radio as though it's like a television screen.
Oh, that's.
I say, you've lost it.
No, I don't. It's like when I'm listening to music, I'm not like staring at I wasn't staring at the old tape deck or the.
I stare at the speaker.
No, I just look ahead I look at the road and I hear what's being said. I don't have to look at the person. I don't have to look at the stereo. That's odd.
I got a new truck for the first time. I've never had 2025 technology, and it was dinging distracted driver notifications to me 100 a minute. Like if you turned your head at a 45-degree angle, it would ding, distracted driver.
Oh,
and I took it to the dealership and I said, no one tells me what to do, not even my own truck. Deactivate it all. And then I almost ran out of gas because I turned off all the notifications.
Oh, well. Teach you. Now let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. They continue to expand and grow. Right now, one of the most diversified electrical contractors in Alberta, actionelectrical.net. And we're going to talk a little soccer and hockey with the Vancouver Sun sports columnist Patrick Johnson joins us. Patrick, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. Buttons and switches. That's what cars need, right? We don't want any more screens.
Yeah.
Where your brain, I'm not a neurologist, but it's how your brain works. That's what I can tell you.
Well, that makes sense. Now, big news in Vancouver. Obviously, the biggest, maybe most established signing ever for the Whitecaps.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we're making this a national sports story because it really should be. I mean, we're talking about the guy. Let's put it this way: Thomas Muller, who, famous German soccer star, maybe not a name that casual sports fan in Canada know, but like this guy has won the World Cup. He's won the Golden Boot. He's like played more games for the biggest club in Germany than anybody. And he's the number 3 social media soccer player follower, number 3 most followed soccer player on Chinese social media. Like this guy's a massive deal. It's a huge deal. And the Whitecaps are trying to win the MLS Cup. And this is the kind of move that you do make when you're trying to win the MLS Cup.
Kind of walk us through how this happened and why was it the right time? Do you have any idea what they're paying him to come here?
Well, the number we've heard, give or take, it makes sense in hockey terms, but the context is how much he was making before. So for it's a season and a half contract right now. He's 30, turns 36 next month. He's making $7.5 million. We understand for the sort of 18 months. A small amount this year, and then a large, 6.8 something next year.
Okay.
He wasn't making the numbers that sort of been batted around. His last year with Bayern Munich, he was making 17 million euros, which is like $19-20 million.
Yeah.
So this is absolutely ownership here, and that's part of the interesting story in the background here. But this is ownership. Yes, they did open up their wallets because they recognize the significance of the player. The long and the short of it is, Axel Schuster, who's runs the CEO, sporting director, they call him in soccer. He's the GM. He's originally from Germany, pays attention to German media. He's got a very good scouting network. And at some point in the late spring, once it was announced that Mueller, who's only ever played for Bayern Munich, would not be returning, he started paying attention to what was being said. And he said there was just something about the way it was being discussed. He thought, maybe there's an opportunity here for us. We can swing for the fences. And Bayern Munich comes over to North America to play in the Club World Cup. And in the mix there's his rights were held by Cincinnati, but clearly wasn't going to go there. And so he kind of throws a dart and gets in touch with Mueller's agent, and they have a chat. And basically, they approached it purely from a playing perspective, saying, they got on a call with Mueller and his people, and said, "This is what our club is. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we've been doing. Here's how we think you could fit into the way we play." And as Schuster told me last week, once it was all signed on, so the call was made, I think, in June. The next day, the agents call back and say, "Hey, let's do it." And at that point, Schuster kind of almost drops the phone, because he can't actually believe it's that real. To that point, it had just been a soccer idea, and now all of a sudden it's becoming, there's a huge other element here, which is this is a guy. I mean, I urge people to go find this guy on social media. Even if you're not a soccer fan, he is just a hilarious personality. He is very comfortable in his own skin. He stands out. We're used to hockey players being careful in what they say. This is a guy who understands what he can do and what he can say and how he's not going to get in trouble. Like, he can just be himself. And so they recognize there's a huge sort of branding opportunity here. It's a huge commercial opportunity. I mean, they literally sold out Thomas Mueller jerseys already. The game on Sunday is essentially a sellout. They've got a handful of tickets left. Everything is coming. And then, like I already said, this is a guy that's got a huge international presence. So not just, as we sat there in the press conference yesterday, half the questions are in German. You're like, this is now a club that's, even if it's not like seen as a top club in Germany, there is going to be, the Vancouver Whitecaps are going to be discussed in Germany, which is obviously a huge soccer nation. And then there's this China element, which is the social media presence that he has. Like, there's just all these other things. So they had to pull all that together. And that was kind of what took the deal so long to pull together, was just getting all those bits and pieces. And it's a remarkable story. And it's a huge story. I was trying to think in terms of Vancouver sports. The last time we had any kind of buzz on a player signing, honestly, was like Matt Sundin in 2009. You could talk about Mark Messier in 97. There's not a lot. The Whitecaps had a couple signings 45 years ago, that in the global sense of that. But, it's a real standout moment in terms of everything. It's a huge star, and it could mean big things for this team.
Well, it was interesting at his press conference. I think he clearly, you mentioned he's number 3 on social media, but I think he understands the marketing. He was talking directly to fans, come and support us, sell some tickets. You don't see a lot of players do that. He's a veteran guy, and his accolades speak for themselves, but I think he understands the business of selling the sport. And it's not like he comes here that late in his career. Like, he should be a significantly impactful player on the pitch.
Absolutely. And, Phil's in a role. Their captain, Ryan Gauld, who's been a fantastic player. I'm sure not a well-known name in Edmonton, but a guy that's been a star player. He's been hurt most of the year. He's the playmaker. They need that role. And there's going to be a perfect way for this guy to come in. The guy literally, essentially, one of the things I love about soccer is we get so used in hockey of thinking about the position is where the guy starts, right? But I cover Quinn Hughes. Is Quinn Hughes really a defenseman? I think he's something else. In soccer, they've really always embraced that and talk about a player as much about the role they play as much as where they're standing when the ball's kicked off. Right. And this guy, they literally invented and he invented the name. He called it Raumdeuter, which means space investigator. It's hilarious. But he's a guy, we can understand players like this. Patrice Bergeron was a comparison that was made. Just so smart in what he does. There's nothing flashy about what he does, but he does everything right, and he piles up points, and he makes your team better because of it. And this is exactly what that guy is. But yeah, you talk about the marketing, and I understand that. Let's understand here. He flew from Munich on Tuesday. He arrives in the afternoon. It's a 8-9 hour flight, 9-hour time difference. He arrives roughly the same time he takes off. He obviously, as he shared on his social media, because his social media stuff, he had a nice long nap on the plane. He comes back. He lands here at the airport. They have a ceremony at the airport. They actually have there's a White Spot restaurant at the airport. They arranged to have this Canadian Cup game that's being played against the team from Hamilton. He sits down with fans for 10 minutes to watch and do this interaction. He gets downtown. They put him up. They've already found him an apartment. He's staying in his apartment. Wednesday morning, they did 9 a.m. press conference. He introduced him at this TELUS headquarters downtown, and he does his medical for the team. He does his social media stuff for the team. There's a bunch of other videos they shoot. Yeah. He's just doing it all with a smile on his face. This guy is a remarkable full package, the likes of which we just don't see all that often in other sports. And I think there's a fascinating thing. Like I said, the Whitecaps know they have a huge opportunity to really put themselves forward locally, put themselves forward as much as there is as you can as a soccer team in the Canadian national scope, but also advertising themselves to other players in the sort of same kind of vein, like effective players who are at the end of their career, but still they're not looking to sort of play some retirement games. They actually still want to compete. It's obviously not the same standard as the team he was before, but it's still pretty good, and this could be pretty fun.
It'd be interesting to see, because the Canucks, the Canucks would run one of their players out in the exact same fashion. I'm being somewhat facetious. They don't necessarily have the best reputation of being the most media savvy by any stretch.
No.
Now, so let's switch over to the Canucks because you look at their offseason and obviously Elias Pettersson, that's the main question mark, right? Can he find his game, Patrick? How? You look at this team, and on paper, they should have been better than they were last year. Now, injuries played a significant factor, specifically in Demko, and it looks like he's healthy. They've committed to him with a 3-year extension at $8.5 million. Do you have any inkling, any knowledge of how healthy they think Demko is? Is his injury finally in the rearview mirror, or is there still concern?
Yeah, I appreciate this, by the way. I'm sure Jamie Cartmel was actually probably fascinated by what the Whitecaps are doing because there's a lot of player presentation stuff that I think NHL teams would be smart to translate into their own terms. Anyway, as for the Canucks, Pettersson, he was at the Sweden Olympic team sort of media junket they had in Stockholm last week. Saying he's feeling great, he's working hard, saying he's taken on all the kind of feedback that he's been given. Obviously, there was a fair bit of criticism last year about how he prepared himself for the season or hadn't prepared himself. He was coming off a bit of a knee injury or tendonitis, which, how he dealt with that, I suppose, was part of the criticism. But yeah, he says, he gets it. He doesn't want to talk about it, how badly things went last year, obviously all the drama and everything, but he knows he's getting paid. He's getting paid to be the number one guy. He's, scored 100 points in the NHL. As I repeated many, many times, January 2024, he was one of the NHL stars of the month, and then everything fell off a cliff. He needs to be that guy. They absolutely need him to be that guy, and physically, it sure sounds like he's in a position to be that guy. I think it's all going to be between the years. It's in many ways a similar story for Demko. He has had one injury or another, 3 seasons in a row, a couple of them pretty serious. Dealt with a basically unprecedented knee injury last year. Got hurt during the year again. There is that question now. He doesn't like it, but the reality is there's the question of durability. They obviously have Kevin Lankinen and brought, kept him in the fold because they recognize they need some reliability in goal, that they probably can't lean on Demko. This is true, I think, of everybody, right? You guys know about goaltending, but the truth is that even the 55-game starter is probably falling by the wayside just by the demands of the game and what you need. You need a number one and a 1A, and so Demko is going to probably have to accept that reality. We're not talking about 60 starts. We're not necessarily talking about 55 starts. You're talking about 48 starts. So how he's able to manage his way through the season with that is a big question. And you know, I mean, he will tell you again. I mean, we haven't talked to him, to be clear. That's the other joke we've been making. We talked to Thomas Mueller before we talked to Patrick Demko. Say what you will about that. But, you know, he's a guy that this team needs. There's absolutely no doubt. I mean, I made this comment, like, listen, I get the Oilers love Stuart Skinner and they love Calvin Pickard, but you can't tell me that if you didn't have a slightly better goalie, maybe those finals make no difference, right? Like, that fundamentally is the story to me, is that Demko's a guy that is in that range of the guy that's good enough to make a difference in the playoffs. Yeah. And that's where the Canucks are at. And obviously they didn't make the playoffs at all. It was a disaster of a season from almost the start. And if this team's going to be serious this season about being the playoffs, let alone trying to push back towards being a contender, or at least in that conversation, this is a guy they absolutely need to be consistent, to be in the lineup, to be a regular option for them.
Yeah, that's the question. I don't think anybody questions his ability. It's his durability and dependability, right? And no one knows the answer until the season begins. What about some of the new faces? If you look at their lineup, are they going to be able to score enough goals?
Well, I mean, that's the great question. That was the huge problem. They were one of the best defensive teams last year, despite everything. And they simply didn't score. I mean, a lot of the Rick Tocchet system that he had in place, people were trying to criticize the coach, and I just was never buying that, because the lineup was the same. It was a lack of execution. They struggled to get inside. Maybe if you want to criticize the coach, maybe he wasn't adaptable enough in that. Maybe he got himself kind of scouted out. But fundamentally, it was a team that leaned on JT Miller and Elias Pettersson to lead the attack, to attack the zone, to control play, and neither of them did that. I mean, Miller was putting up points even when he came back from his leave of absence, but he didn't play well. They weren't, they weren't valuable points, if you will. And they needed more. It was about their centers. And so obviously we talked about Pettersson. There is that question of, Filipino was a fun player, and I enjoy what he does. And he has a different way of going at it from what they have. He attacks the zone a different way. But, there's another guy. You want to talk about injury questions. He's had trouble with concussions. Now, they said towards the end of the year, they didn't think in the end, or the belief was actually a lot of what kept him out of he was dealing with whiplash as much as it was a concussion. But still, there's head injury questions about him. So, how much can they get out of him? And they've added to the team to a degree. But they brought Brock Betzer back. But mostly this is a team that's mostly about running things back from last year. And can they find enough goals? Well, I mean, Brock Betzer's been a consistent player. He's not an elite goal scorer, but he's always scored at a pretty consistent rate. He likes playing with Elias Pettersson. Hasn't played with him a ton in recent years. He was more a JT Miller winger, but he's a guy that should be there. Jake DeBrusk had a solid first year in Vancouver. It's just kind of, how does it all add up? They need Niels Höglander. I mean, we haven't talked a lot about him much, but they need Niels Höglander to find his way back to the player that he was. Connor Garland was pretty good last year. They still need him to be a guy. Vander Kane. I mean, you guys tell me about Vander Kane. Like that more than anything is the bet that they've made, that this is a player that is going to be able to influence the game in a way that few can if he stays healthy. And you guys saw him in the playoffs, and I thought he was effective at times, but I also thought he was not the player that should be leaned on to play top 6 minutes every night anymore. But they're going to try to make that happen. So a lot of question marks and not a lot of certainties on this team right now.
Patrick, great stuff as always, man. Enjoy. We'll be interested. The Whitecaps definitely, I think, will be a team to watch on the soccer front, which is good as soccer is growing in Canada. Obviously, with the World Cup coming, it's pretty good timing to get on the front burner of soccer coverage if you're the Whitecaps. Smart move.
Absolutely. Sure hope we get some regular Edmonton soccer back in the fold as well.
Yeah, you bet, man. Appreciate your time.
Take care, guys.
Patrick Johnson joined, and he's bang on about that. It would be great to get a pro soccer team here again in Edmonton.
Do you hear anything about a franchise?
No, not really.
No, hey?
No. There's I'd heard some rumblings about a facility being built downtown to what would that be, northwest of Rogers, but I haven't. I know there's been some conversations. I do know like one facility that's right now, and I think it has one final hearing. But so anybody who goes downtown to Rogers Place, there's the parking lot directly to the east of the building.
The old back rat?
Yes, the old back rat. And so there's going to be an outdoor 2,500 seat facility that's going to go in there. And so there's, that's going to host a lot of things. Obviously, it could be a watch party for the playoffs, some outdoor concerts, and other venues. Maybe they could play 3x3 there if they want to outside. So my understanding is that's past one. There's just one final here, and they have to go through. But it looks like that's.
Could it have a soccer team there?
No, they need a bigger stadium for that. No, it's not going to be. It's if you look at the side of the building, you couldn't put a soccer pitch in there. But like I think it's going to be like a half bowl. You know what I mean? So kind of like think of the wind spear forming like that. And so like one side, right? Not on both sides. That's with a stage and stuff like that. That's my understanding.
Because they've upgraded that soccer pitch out by Commonwealth Stadium that the FC Edmonton used to play at.
Yeah.
That's been completely resurfaced and completely returfed for soccer.
Yeah.
And they've got the stands now on both sides of the field. So I don't think a new team in Edmonton would need a new stadium necessarily.
Well, they probably it depends which league you're in. Right, if you're MLS, that stadium's not big enough.
Could Edmonton get an MLS team?
Money talks on anything. I guess you could, but I don't know if we have the population when you consider the when those games are played and weather and a lot of other things. So I've talked to people who know way more about soccer than I do, as far as like the logistics and what the league would be looking for. And they don't think it's likely.
It would have to be an indoor stadium too, right? So that the weather can't affect the games for MLS.
Well, an indoor stadium, I just think would cost too much.
Well, so are you like what's
unless,
the MLS season?
Unless you're going to go like indoor and play, and have the Elks and the soccer team share, but that's a pretty massive investment, right? But I think it'd be great, but I don't think it's necessarily feasible. I haven't heard anything about that on the forefront.
When does the MLS season run? Does it run during the winter time?
No. Well, it runs it runs like, I guess, part of our winter, yes. Right? But they've got matches going on right now, right? And then it ends, God, what's the last week of MLS? I think it ends in like late October. If I'm not mistaken, I got to double check that.
Because there are northern MLS teams, right? Are they playing outdoor games like in the wintertime type situation?
Yeah, but it ends end of October, which end of October, hey, we're playing CFL games. Like there could be the odd one that's chilly for sure. So I don't think you need necessarily an indoor stadium. It would obviously be beneficial. But if you could have like a retractable roof stadium, like now we're talking, but that would cost you a lot of money.
For what it's worth, smallest stadium in MLS capacity is 18,000.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You would need like I think if you're going to have a multi-use facility, you'd want it to be 30,000, right? That's what you'd want. But I don't know if that's anytime in the near future at all. We'll take a quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show. We got the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate coming up next. Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal? Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring Tridem, tandem, and single-axle trucks with cab and chassis, day cabs and tractors, digger derricks, hydrovacs, man lifts, pickers, and refuse compactors. Info at maauctions.com.
There's something we need to talk about: debt. It's an uncomfortable topic, but the truth is, most of us carry some form of debt, and we are ashamed to talk about it. My name is Parveen Middleton, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. Every day, people struggling with debt come to me for a solution. When you make that call, I'll listen to your story without judgment and will lead you to a debt-free future. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved equipment auction is next Friday at 9 a.m., featuring articulated dumps, backhoes, dozers, drum and padfoot packers, excavators, graders, man lifts, motor scrapers, skid steers, pavers, turf mowers, wheel loaders, plus commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with the Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizzas for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
52 on a positive Friday. Elks in action tonight, and we will the latest update. We have Connor Halley, who is our quasi meteorologist for the afternoon, giving us updates. Cons, any update? Is it still looking like things are going to clear up here in the next half hour?
Well, as I check my AccuWeather radar, it looks like weather moving to the east throughout the afternoon. As I jump up to 425. Looks like it's clear skies.
Ooh, nice.
Now, Gregor, disclaimer, I'm not a meteorologist. I don't want people
No, but you play one
tweeting
this
me.
afternoon. Connor Halley is saying it's going to clear up, okay?
I don't want to ruin any picnics or anything, but yeah, I'm thinking it's going to clear up. You might get a little more rain around 5, but it's going to be a lot better.
All right.
So I'd say by kickoff, clear skies.
Clear skies.
If you're thinking of going to the game tonight and you think you might not want to go because it rained in the afternoon,
Yeah, don't be soft.
what are you, made of parchment?
Yeah.
Just go to the game.
I totally agree.
Have a beer.
Yeah, there's
or not a beer if you don't want a beer.
There's no reason not to go.
Are you made of cotton candy?
Yeah, sugar. What do you made it? Cam Tate? Come on, get in there.
Get in there.
Yeah. Now, let's get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home and no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. Of course, the 2-minute warning, Cam Tate, joined a longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy, is in a wheelchair, although temporarily he wasn't. When I scared him, it was like he was out of his wheelchair momentarily. But due to the wonders of technologies, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And on Fridays, I read his, and if I do botch it this week, it's only because I'm stressed, as Cam Tate is staring at me right now in studio as we're reading this. So, Cons, hit the music. When Gregor and I thought of him reading my words on Friday, we thought of discussing humorous topics, give people shots, even if they didn't deserve it. And since this is Positive Friday, something to zoom you on to the weekend. So we offer the following. If you don't like it, blame Gregor. One of my favorite stories I tell when I'm delivering a keynote address comes from 1978. My very, very, very first writing job was with the Edmonton Crusaders of the Alberta Junior Hockey League, writing player profiles for the program. The program, Connor Halley, was a little magazine at hockey games. To help get material, I traveled with the team. 1951 bus. Heater never worked. We traveled to Red Deer one Sunday to play the Rustlers. I got in the poker game on the way down and won $23. We won that night 6-3. And when you win on the road, no matter what sport it is, the bus ride home is always a happy one. We're just on the outskirts of Red Deer. I asked one of our right wingers, George or Lecky, to help me walk to the back of the bus to the poker game. George used 2 words often used in junior hockey and 2 words I can't say in the radio. I giggled all the way home. No longer was I the kid in the wheelchair who thought he was a writer hanging around the team. I was now one of the guys and still have that $23. Which brings me to today. I'm writing this in the Stingray office for the first time. To me, being part of a team has always meant so much, even if Gregor gave me a desk right beside the washroom. Perfect. And Benny's dad, Connor Halley, gave me 2 Sports 1440 caps and a lanyard. You know, I think I'll keep them for a long, long time. 2-minute warning, Gregor's growl, Connor's control, Tate's typewriter, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sports 1440. Well, that's very nice, Tater. I like it. Now, just for the record, I didn't pick that desk location, but it is close vicinity, but you never know when you have to wheel in there, Tater. So you know what? It's not far from you, but it's also, that's where all of that's where our desks are. In the new revamped station, there's a little bit less room. So the Sports 1440 guys got put kind of right in the corner. We got the printer on one side of our 2 desks, and literally about, 50 or 60 feet to the right is where the washrooms are. So close to the south of the bay. Now, Connor never uses our new desks. He just stays out at the bar because there's a bar right in the entranceway here at the Sports 1440 location. And that's where him and Brandon are. But Tater and I think, are the only 2 that use the desk in the back.
Where did the pool table go that used to be here?
Well, as you see now, that's more of a social area because it wasn't used very much. So in the downsizing, it got downsized.
They threw it out?
Well, I don't think they threw it out, but they gave it away. Somebody. Yeah. Sydney and Sales took it. Oh.
It was autographed by a celebrity. Did you notice that ever on the cover? There was a signature. I honestly think it was Gene Simmons. Like it had been autographed by somebody. Alice Cooper, yeah. Autographed by Alice
when
Cooper.
He was in studio at K97.
What would possess Alice Cooper to sign the pool table?
Well, they probably just asked him to, right?
But nobody else ever again. They're just like that.
Yeah, well, that's the only. Well, you know what? It's like unless you're a bigger star than Alice Cooper, you can't sign it. Maybe that was I'm not sure what the decision was.
Now, do you think that increased the value of the pool table by signing it or decreased it?
Well, Alice Cooper's a pretty big name.
But a pool table is hard to ship. So if you're going to sell that, you're not going to send it in a very far radius.
Well, Cindy in Sales got it. She has no problem with it. Now, I didn't look at, obviously you can take the legs off of it.
Of course.
Right. So once you take the legs off, it's not that hard to move.
That's a heavy thing.
Yeah, it was, because it was an old school one. So it was a little bit heavier for sure. Right. I remember when my brother moved and we had to move his pool table and I had to go pick it up. I'm like, holy God, these things are deceptively heavy.
It's probably the heaviest thing in the house.
And of course, Buck's always like, bro, we don't need any more guys. I'm like, what are you doing? There's 2 of us here and breaking my back trying to move it. So that was good time. So, pool tables are heavy. So I didn't know Cindy and her husband, Ryan, were the winners. Haven't invited any of us over. Like, once you win a pool table, you should have a party.
Were you entered to win?
No.
That's unfair.
Well, honestly, I didn't enter to it. I don't have a place where I could put a pool table. Because if you're going to have a pool table, you need there's nothing worse than when you go to your buddy's house and they have a pool table, but you only can use the mini stick cue.
Remember that Seinfeld?
Yeah, you have like the mini cue because one side, you almost don't want to put the white ball on the one side of the table because then when you get to that side, you can't really fully extend. So now it's challenging, yes, but it's not ideal.
You got to get a conductor stick like Kramer had.
Yeah. So no, I've never had, I don't have a place. Well, I guess I could put it down. I could put it downstairs in my basement, but it's no, I still have my visions of getting a baby grand piano down there. So that's what I want.
You would rather spend the day not playing the piano than spend the day really playing pool?
Well, no, I'm just looking. I'm not going to have both. And I played piano when I was younger and I quit when I was in like grade 6. And I've always wanted to start it up again. And so I've been looking for about the last, I have a piano expert who's on the lookout for a good used piano for what I would like. And
what song would you like to learn to play?
I haven't really got that far yet. I'm going to go back and like piano. I still remember the basic chords and stuff like that. So, well, they're not chords, but you know what I mean? The notes. And I haven't really thought of a song per se. I think I just want to get back to kind of, some basic ones, but I would think like there's probably a few Elton John songs I'd want to play on the piano.
Like piano music goes from classical in the gamut to like Coldplay, right?
I can
There's
tell
a
you,
lot of
I'm not gonna be playing any classical music. Which probably would be great, but that's not necessarily it. Like Let It Be would be a good song to learn on piano, right? I think Piano Man, of course. Hey, why not? If you're playing the piano, I need to play Piano Man. So
Tip jar on top?
No. it would sit
to your
empty.
son, right?
It would sit empty there for quite a long time. So
if you want to request, that's a $5 to the piano again.
Yeah, I'm thinking what's the is it Clocks?
Yep.
By Coldplay. That's the piano song, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess theirs would be some. I have no idea how hard they are, but can't be that hard. It's like anything. You can read it, just practice. It would be because I feel like I want a new hobby. And playing the piano, and then eventually you get to the point where you can play it well enough that you have people over and you have little sing-alongs. I wouldn't be the singer, I would be the player. So
this is a big division. You either turn right and get the autographed Alice Cooper pool table and you turn into a pool shark, or you turn left and learn to play clocks.
Yeah, like we played pool a lot, right? Growing up, I loved it, man. My Uncle Jim had a pool in his basement, pool table in his basement, and Uncle Jim was he never let his nephews win. Like I remember being 12, winner got to stay on the table. It was like my dad and uncle and Jim. If he was winning, there's no chance. You're 12 years old, suck it up, kid. You better learn how to beat me. I was always just like, get upstairs, let the kids play for a while. So it was funny though. But yeah, Jim was hard ass. There was no freebies from old Uncle Jim.
You don't see pool halls like you used to. We used to go to one in the West End, the Q Club. Remember that?
But the Q Club used to in the early days of the Jason Gregor Show, the Q Club was a sponsor of ours.
Really?
Right on Stony Plain. Yeah. Old Fast Freddie Heathcote. Fast Freddie around it. Fred's actually I saw him. He's worked at the Order Games for a long time now. So I see him down there. He's wheeling around. He had some surgery done on his knee, and I think he's doing better now. So I knew Fred from because his boys used to play for the Huskies.
And there was another one at Westmount Mall you could go to, and it was a whole big pool hall, and there was Metro.
Well, there was Susie Q's, I think, on the south side.
You don't see it like you used to, Gregor.
Yeah.
Now it's all about TikTok. Used to be about pool.
And there's got to be some pool halls still in town.
I mean,
all right, somebody out there.
Remember Billiard Club when it was a billiard club?
Yeah, it's a country bar now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No pool there.
Well, there's not even one now, though. There's probably, but you know what I hear, though? It's like a dance club. And it's pretty like real dance club, which is awesome. Because I remember some of the best times was going out to the club.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Getting on the wood and having some fun dancing. So I think I heard that. I was like, that's awesome. Because some of the best nights I had. Hey, guys, the Metro. There you go. Yeah, they got the Metro downtown. So that's one.
Isn't it West End now?
Yeah, it moved over.
Plain Road.
Oh, it moved down. Oh, it moved on.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. I haven't been to that one. It was the one downtown, but obviously. That's been a while if it's closed down.
That's my recommendation. You kids out there, put your phones down and go bet on pool like we used to.
Yeah, like bowling. Still go to the bowling alley. Like a good bowl.
Totally.
Oh, fantastic.
We went monster mini golfing the other day, my son and I.
What do you mean monster?
Well, it's the brand on the south side, and it's all black lights.
Yeah, they have one here in
things
the mall.
going on.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
We had a great time.
Yeah, mini golf's great. Son's old enough now where, you know what? I'm like, sorry. I'm Uncle Jim now. I'm like, hey. Better toughen up, kid, and learn how to win.
The first time I took him, he just took his ball and ran in the opposite direction. And we are not old enough for mini golf yet.
Hey, Gregor, do you dream of recreating the scene from The Office where Roy plays the piano at his wedding? Wouldn't be bad, JR and Red Deer. Not bad at all. Let's take a quick break. We get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by the Red Deer Resort and Casino. Give your kids a summer to remember Bears, beds, and belly laughs. Every time I think of that, I think of The Office. And when Jim was impersonating Dwight, it's a classic. But Bears, beds, and belly laughs. Book the Stay Wild package at Red Deer Resort and Casino today. That's Red Deer Resort and Casino.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
It's game day in the City of Champions with the Elks hosting the Argos down at Commonwealth. Kickoff 7 o'clock. Get your tickets at goelks.com. In the majors, Jays looking to win once again. They host the Rangers down at Rogers Place. First pitch 5:07. Elsewhere, you got the Phillies and the Nationals, Marlins in Boston, Mets host the Mariners, White Sox taking on the Royals, Rockies, Diamondbacks, Angels in Sacramento, and the Dodgers hosting the Padres. One final early today, Cubs fall to the Pirates 3-2. Across the pond in Czechia at the Helinka Gretzky Cup, Canada fell to the United States in a shootout. With that, the Americans will play Sweden tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for gold. After they got past Finland, Canada will meet those Finns for third spot, also a 9 a.m. puck drop. BMW Championship right now. Robert McIntyre 5 strokes up on Scotty Scheffler for the lead at -14. When it comes to the Canadians, Taylor Pendrith 2 under par. Nick Taylor currently even, and Corey Connors +1 in the WNBA this evening. Mystics taking on the Fever. Sky and Valkyries. Sparks taking on the Wings in Vancouver. It's the Dream hosting the Storm, and the Aces travel to the desert taking on the Mercury. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show. The last 5 questions, and be joined by Jennifer Lee Chen as we look at the San Francisco 49ers. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
McDonald's summer drink days are here. Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's.
Positive Friday.
Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
If you're looking for the ultimate off-road adventure, you'll find it in a Jeep Wrangler. And if you're looking for the ultimate financing deal on a Wrangler, you'll find it at
The
St.
Midsummer
Albert
Sales
Dodge.
Event.
Right now, St. Albert Dodge is offering 0% financing
350
month OAC on their full selection of 2025 Jeep Wranglers. And it's a great
Paw
collection. Sport, Willys, Sahara, and Rubicon, plus all the new colors, all on the lot, ready to go at 0%. Come see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The 8th annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Photographers, start your cameras. It's time for Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest. Enter your hometown snapshot and show us what makes your community amazing. Whether it's a view from the farm, a stroll down Main Street, or a weekend at the rodeo, we're looking for snapshots that show off your rural Alberta hometown. Share your photo before September 2nd for a chance to win cash prizes or a donation to your favorite community group. Learn more via Vision's Facebook page or go to what'syourshare.ca.
VIP prize deadline in Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mike D. Millions Lottery is midnight tonight. The road to exhilaration starts with your BMW convertible VIP VIP prize, a new BMW X-Drive convertible, or $100,000 cash. And you're in to win the $2.5 million grand prize, a luxury show home plus $100 grand. BMW convertible VIP prize deadline is midnight tonight. Buy early and win more at MikeDMillionsLottery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips, we fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley with you. Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. And, ooh, baby, tonight somebody's going to get lucky. Well, probably, but we're talking lottery here, boys and girls. Keep your minds out of the gutter. 70 million up for grabs in Lotto Max and 10 Max Millions. You have until 8:30 tonight to get your tickets, and the easiest way, go to PlayAlberta.ca. Good luck. Just remember the Sports 1440 rule. If you win, you invite us to your party. Because if you win a big lottery like that, you're having a party. And obviously, we'll invite you. We'll have to have a few. But, I'd have a huge bash. We would have a fun bash if we win at the major lottery.
And I'd like to see shrimp on the menu, and not little shrimp either.
Oh, dude, I love
jumbo prawns.
I love jumbo prawns.
Let's go.
I'm a huge shrimp fan. When I go out, like if it's at most restaurants, if it's one of the appetizers, I'm getting it, man. I love it. I love the shrimp. Love the shrimp.
But at some point, a shrimp goes pro and becomes a prawn. That's the difference, right? They're bigger than shrimp.
Yeah, I don't know if I taste the difference between a prawn and a shrimp. To me, they're the same thing. Maybe they're just named different. But I'm sure some chef out there is going to correct me, and that's totally fine. But I think it's fine. Hey, Gregor, would you stay on the radio if you won the lottery? Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? For a while, for sure I would. So, you know what? I have no cares in the world, man. Be wheeling in. Trust me, there'd be no reason to complain.
I can't think of how your life would change if you won the lottery. I think you'd wake up in the morning and be like, you know what I need to talk about? It's the power play.
Yeah.
But you got to get it off.
Money's never been my biggest motivator. You know, that's true. But if I won, like, I would just think of fun things to do. Well, I can tell you right now, if we won the lottery and it was a significant amount, I would have like a contest of contests that would have lots of listeners be winners.
Cool.
Oh, because you know what? Why not share the wealth? To me, that would be awesome. And you'd have a lot of fun for different reasons. So I would do that for sure. So that would be, to me, there's you get to share stuff like that with lots of other people and you have fun. Obviously, we have lots of loyal listeners who've listened to the show for years. So you know what? You could have some just random fun ones and then some, the diehards. Here's a trivia question for the diehard. Whatever. Like, depending on a certain amount, it'd be like, hey, how much could we give away every day for like a year on the show? It's like, that would be fun.
It's one thing to win like an insane 50-50 and take home $3 million. It's quite another to win $70 million.
It's just like, dude,
tax free.
Yeah. Like, that's the other thing. Yeah. It's tax. Now you pay tax on the interest. So then you'd be like, hey, what can we do to be unique? There would be there'd be lots of fun things. We'd have a lot of swag for Sports 1440. I can tell you that. And then we'd have some fun events.
Pool table
for sure. Oh yeah, I think we'd. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was that important to you, we'd splurge for it.
A Gene Simmons pool table?
Nah, well, no, maybe Gene Simmons. Maybe we'd get like a weekend pool table. Big Canadian guy. Like if we're gonna do it, we're gonna get like, so Canada's got some major Canadian stars. Let's get some of them. Right? Katie Lang. Let's get a Katie Lang signed one for sure.
What'd you do when you won $70 million? Got the Gene Simmons pool table back and
exactly.
nothing else.
What was your first purchase? Pool table. Went big. Well, that would be the other thing, man. Like you'd have to, I always thought if I won a big lottery, I wouldn't want to announce it right away. I'd want to take my time to try to plan out, okay, like let's not screw this up here.
Put it in a safety deposit box for 6 months and make all your moves before you cash it.
Yeah. So that would be good. Hey guys, you sound like a couple guys who just got off work at the mill and they're about to scratch a couple of tickets from Tiger. Yeah. Hey, why not, baby? Because if you dream it, it can happen. If you think you're never going to win, I'm a believer you're never going to win. right? It's like, if you think you're never, ever going to, meet someone nice in a relationship, you probably never will. I'm a big believer that you put stuff out there, good or bad. The people that are always putting out bad stuff, eventually, they'll get there. I don't know when. And I know it's not always true. All you got to do is look at Mr. Orange and all the garbage he's done in his life. Doesn't seem like, it's coming back yet, but maybe one day. But I do think for the most people, you get back what you give. So it's kind of how I see it. Hey, guys, buying a Gene Simmons pool table is a good way to kiss your money goodbye. All right, Gene Principe, Matt, and Leduc. All right. It's not bad, though.
I think if you win 70 million, you got to hire a team of Navy SEALs and hunt other lotto winners. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'm going to go after that guy. You got 35 million. You land in a Black Hawk helicopter and you chase the guy down and you get him. They're like, it's a lotto winner. It's like Hunger Games, but only lotto winner.
Man, but I've read stories on people who won the lottery, and like
the worst.
They for some people, they blow it all, and you have you have people coming out of the woodwork and stuff to just kind of bother you, make you feel guilty. So yeah, I don't. It's like anything. We always think about the great parts about it, but there's always some negativity that can creep in. It's just like in pro athletes, I think at times it's like there's lots of great parts about their life. Don't get me wrong. But you got to work very hard. And then you also have lots of things behind the scenes that aren't necessarily the best.
It's one thing to win a mega 50-50, like $3 million. That's like the perfect amount because you don't quit your job. You don't buy a Bugatti usually, right? But when you win the big one,
yeah, that's
like these American Powerballs are like $1 billion.
That's why I always said, man, the daily grant, I get $1,000 a day. Like to me, just to wake up, because I know you could get the lump sum of 7.3. And I get some money managers out there. Gregor, do you know how much money you win more? Yes, I understand. If I won the 7.3 and I put it into a GC and I make 10%, I get it. But at that point, if I know for the next 20 years I'm getting $1,000 a day, well, that relieves a lot of stress, right? You're just like, every day I get up, man, I'm like, I can't spend 300 because that's after tax $1,000 a day. That's 350 grand. It's like you're making 700 cake.
You could easily spend $1,000 a day if you got used to spending $1,000.
Well, you could if you wanted to, but I wouldn't. It would be fun, and I would do but I'm just saying it would alleviate a lot of the stress. You could do some things, maybe like, maybe I'll take an extra week of holidays here, there, too, and do some other things. Maybe I wouldn't change my job because I love my job, but I could see some people saying, you know what, maybe it's time to change out and go a different path.
How do you live a different life though if you win like $80 million? Like, what's the level above that in your plan? $80 million, you can put that into the bank and earn new investments and make like $8 million a year for the remainder of your life. How does your life different making $8 million a year in perpetuity versus 365 grand?
Oh, it'd probably be very different. I don't know. I've never experienced either one. So.
Hot air balloon to work?
Yeah. No. I went in a hot air balloon once. It was all right. I didn't love it. I much enjoyed parachuting way better, right? Oh,
no way.
Skydiving, infinitely more fun. Not even close.
If I win 70 million, my feet never touch the ground on the way to work. It's hot air balloon all the way in and hot air balloon all the way home.
Well, I don't even know if you can land it right where you're working.
70 million? Of course I can.
Well, you'd have to build like a landing pad.
No
on the
problem.
top of your work. I guess
Paid
you
cash.
could do it. Sure. Why not? Probably could get away with it. When we come back, lots of people think this team will be taking off, maybe in a hot air balloon ride. They will be flying up the standings. Is it true? We'll find out next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Reports suggest the Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
Another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams, today until Monday. Score dreamy 4-day deals, like mattresses starting at just $99 and queen beds starting at just $399. Save the tax when you buy 2 or more major kitchen appliances. and get free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $499 or more. Plus, save up to $400 off smart TVs and over $500 off genuine leather reclining sofas. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Ah, summer. The sun's out, the road's calling, and your car said, nope. Don't let your summer road trip turn into a roadside nap. Swing by Napa Auto Parts. Napa has the trusted tools, smarts, and quality parts for all your automotive needs this summer. Get your vehicle ready for the road and just in time for your kids to start testing your patience and sanity.
Are we there yet?
With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
VIP prize deadline in Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mike D. Millions Lottery is midnight tonight. The road to exhilaration starts with your BMW convertible VIP prize, a new BMW X-Drive convertible, or $100,000 cash. And you're in to win the $2.5 million grand prize, a luxury show home plus $100,000. BMW convertible VIP prize deadline is midnight tonight. Buy early and win more at MikeDMillionsLottery.com.
Wow. For Arcelli hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
CWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Edmonton Elks Country Night is back Friday, August 15th against Toronto. Presented by Coconut Cowboy Row, featuring the EE Bull Riding Competition, country music all night long, plus a petting zoo and pony rides for the kids. Tickets start at just $20 at GoElks.com.
Splash some adventure on your summer with the return of Sourdough Raft Race, Sunday, August 17th. Watch teams barrel down the North Saskatchewan River in a fun, friendly, competitive race. Everyone's welcome at the pre-race breakfast from Friesen Brothers. Just $10 per person. Don't miss the Sourdough Raft Race, Sunday, August 17th. Come watch the fun or take part. There's still time to register at sourdoughraffrace.com. Sponsored in part by Oil City Cranes. sourdoughraffrace.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money. Support Canada at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
You might have to put us online. 423 on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. Also, should mention the Edmonton Stingers had another very successful season. Unfortunately for them, it ended last night in Calgary. A tough, tight loss to the Surge. So tough week for Edmonton fans. The Stingers had a really good year. The Riverhawks had a really good year, just both coming up a little bit short of a championship, but another solid season for the Stingers.
I can't remember a time where the Stingers and the baseball team in town were doing as well as they're doing right now.
Yeah, both at the same time. Yeah, it's been both have been like the Stingers since they've come in. They've been successful.
Yep.
Right. They've had a few league championships. The Riverhawks obviously have been very successful on and off the diamond, which is great to see. And I have there's really no reason to think it's not going to continue. Right. Like both organizations, I think have a good idea of where they're going to generate a successful program. And Baker gets more experience every year as a coach, and now they get more experience in who they want to recruit as players. And the Riverhawks, the big advantage that the Riverhawks have in their league is how the crowds and the fans, like you're a player and you're okay, I could go to Edmonton, I could go to Bellingham. Man, like look at the crowds in Edmonton. Like you talk to players and word spreads when the players will tell everybody that's the best recruiter is the players themselves. And they leave Edmonton having just an unbelievable experience for low A ball. It's awesome. Like you can't ask for better for those players. Like the crowds that they played at are going to be bigger than some of the crowds they're playing at in college.
Totally.
Yeah.
Who owns the Stingers?
The brother and sister whose name's escaping me right now.
Yeah. They've owned it since inception, right?
Nope. No, they because it used to be owned by the league. Right? It used to be owned by the league. Yeah. There's a Ravinder and Manjeet Minhas are the owners, right?
And like the Minhas beer folks.
Yes.
Good for them.
Yes. Yeah.
They're marketing experts.
Yeah. And so I'm not sure if Burns and Vander are still part of that or not. I don't know the 100% the hierarchy of the ownership group, if the Minhas have it 100% now, or if they're still Burns and Vander have a part of it. I have to look that up. It's a good question.
They're doing a good job.
Yeah. They do still have part of it, Cons? Yeah. Okay, good. So there you go. Yeah. So it's multiple owners on there, and they've had success. They're doing well. And obviously the Riverhawks with Randy Gregg and the rest of his ownership group is doing very well. And it's awesome to see. And so now the attention turns the Edmonton Elks. Of course, you got junior football going on, the Wildcats and the Huskies as well right now. And then right around the corner, you got the AJHL and the BCHL kicking off again. And the Oilers, of course, training camp gets going. What is it? I think the 17th or the 18th is when it is. And the first preseason game is on like that Monday, the 22nd, I think that is, of September. If my memory is correct, they got a double dip. But this would probably be the last time of the split squad preseason games. Thank goodness. There is not one person out there who thinks 8 preseason games is awesome. Like, it isn't. Not for the players, not for the fans, not for anybody. And this will be the last year for those who don't know, because next season is when the new CBA kicks in 2026. And that's when there's a maximum of 4 preseason games. And veteran players who have played over 100 NHL games can only play 2 preseason games. So that will be a nice change. And we'll get to some preseason and some pontification of potentially what's going to prognostication, not pontification, some prognostication of what's going to happen this year as we get to our talk a little NFL. Jennifer Lee Chan joins us from NBC Sports talking the 49ers. Jennifer, welcome back to the program. How you doing?
Good. Trying not to melt here in Vegas. It's 110 degrees, and I'm not built for this.
Oh, well, very few people are, honestly. It is, that is 110 degrees is no joke. That is way, way too hot. Now, the 49ers, speaking of hot, lots of people are saying, look at their schedule. This team's going to roll. But, you cover the team very closely. Is it too easy to just say, oh, they got an easy schedule, they're going to roll?
Always. I mean, in the NFL is just every game is difficult no matter who you're playing. And when you're from, possibly one of the better teams in football, everybody brings their best game. So just a mess. They stay healthy, they could be good, but everybody wants to take the top team off the podium. So you just never know how the season's going to shake out.
When you look at the 49ers, let's start on their defensive side of the ball. Is there a concern that's noticeable for you defensively?
Well, on the defensive line, I mean, there's quite a few injuries. The top guys are still there. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, they're still going to play. Deommodore Lenoir, also one of the top cornerbacks in the game. But on the defensive line, there's a lot of injuries. Both Michael Williams are top draft picks. CJ West, a little bit later in the draft pick, 4th round guy. I mean, those young defensive line guys they're hoping that they play throughout the season. So both of them have hyperextended knees. They're going to be out for a little bit of time. And for rookies to not be getting those reps during training camp, it's a lot. It's important that they get those reps. So they're going to miss out a couple of weeks, and hopefully they get them back before week 1.
Jennifer Lee Chan of NBC Sports joining us here on the Gregor Show, looking at the San Francisco 49ers. And I have to ask you about Christian McCaffrey. We know what he can do when he's healthy. I think there might be some trepidation from fantasy owners going back to him after the unfortunate injuries that he had last season. But how has he looked at camp so far?
He looked really good. And Brock Purdy just told me yesterday when we were at training, the joint practices with the Raiders, he said, man, he's on one. He's ready. He can't wait to get on the field. And he looks fast. He had, I think, about 9 carries yesterday and 6 receptions just in practice. It was a longer session in the heat, but he looks good. He looks ready. He looks fit. He looks fast. He looks like he did before the 2023 season when he won that Offensive Player of the Year award.
Sticking with Brock Purdy, I mean, he's just a guy that kind of flies under the radar, and maybe he likes it that way. But when you look at him, does that fuel him kind of getting maybe not the praise of the other quarterbacks around the NFL? Because when you look at him, he wins football games, and statistically, he's had a really good years the last 2 seasons.
I mean, I think that's just the way it always goes for a guy who was the last pick in the draft. I think that he's always going to have those battles with the national media. I think everybody that's in the building that watches him understands what he does to the game, what he brings to the team, his leadership, his, attention to detail. Everybody in the building understands that. And I think it's just the people outside the building that, didn't know that he was going to be that good and that projected he would be one of the lower picks in the draft or maybe an undrafted free agent. And they, maybe they're just still mad that they were wrong. I don't know, but I think everybody in the building understands what kind of player he is, and players in the league understand it as well. So I really just think it's people outside the building, outside of players, that have that belief that he's not the guy, because he really is. And you look at how they rally around him and how he plays and how efficient he is. I've had talks with multiple quarterbacks that have played around him, Mac Jones and Sam Darnold, who said they learned how to prepare from him. I think because he was one of those, lower picks and maybe someone that, didn't have all the measurables and wasn't as tall and didn't have as strong of an arm. So he does everything else to make himself an elite quarterback. So he does all the work. He does all the preparation. I think his work ethic makes him that much better.
Jennifer Lee Chan joins us talking San Francisco 49ers. And, Christian McCaffrey is fascinating. Obviously, fantasy owners, that's one element of the game. But do you think the 49ers are they going to limit his reps at all? Or once the season starts, do you think it's full go?
I think he's just a hard guy to take off the field. I mean, if you have the chance to draft him in your fantasy league, I would do it just because of the way he looks. I mean, this is really how he looked when he won Offensive Player of the Year. So I think there's a huge potential for him to be really good for fantasy owners. But I think, they want to be smart with him. He is, in his 11th season in the league. So they want to make sure that he lasts for the whole season. But I do think they just can't take him off the field. If it's a third down and, the game is in hand, he's going to be on the field making those plays. So, as much as they want to make sure that they're smart with him, he's still going to get a ton of the carries.
If you look at their offensive roster, you got Brandon Ayuk, you got Juwan Jennings, Ricky Purcell. Is there any other receivers you think that, might surprise and get more balls this year in San Fran?
Well, I think Jacob Cowing had a really kind of upward momentum, but he did get held back with a hamstring injury. I would keep an eye on him during the next 2 preseason games.
Okay.
And, kind of keep an eye on him because he is fast. He worked with Brock Purdy during the offseason. He has the potential to have a breakout season this year. I mean, he was brought in as a returner, but he is really fast, and he is a guy that has great mobility. He can get separation from, defensive backs. So he's a guy to watch during the preseason, and then we'll kind of judge more about how much he's caught up from being out for a couple of weeks with this hamstring injury.
Jennifer, without Brandon Ayuk here, do you have any update on when he might return? And then kind of in the same vein, can Ricky Pearsall fill that void this season?
I think Ricky Pearsall is also set to have a great season. He's had a lot of time off season to work with Brock Purdy. They went to Florida together, and that was where Jacob Cowing joined as well. So they went to Florida. They did some, off season work together, but both of them have had hamstring injuries during training camp. So they're working their way back in, and they look to have great rhythm with Brock Purdy again. much like they did kind of towards the end of the season last year. So he's a guy that I think Ricky Pearsall will have a great season. He's been, the top wide receiver. Juwan Jennings, has that calf injury, no timeline on him. With Brandon Ayuk, though, he had the injury in week 6. So it wasn't just the ACL. It was ACL, MCL, and cartilage damage. So I really don't think he'll be back until mid-season.
Oh.
Kyle Shanahan said potentially week 6. But when a guy has that much going on his knee, they really don't start feeling like themselves until a full calendar year. So I don't know how much he's going to be able to contribute this year, but if you can stash him on your bench, he's a guy who could have, some push at the end of the season, and if they get into the playoffs, for sure.
Talking Niners with Jennifer Lee Chan of NBC Sports down in the Bay. One more for me. You guys made a pretty big adjustment, I would say, and I say this as a Chargers fan. Brandon Staley was there last year. I was a little bit surprised by that hire, but they go back to Robert Saleh. Having him in the building, how much does that help this defense?
Oh, so much. I mean, Nick Bosa said this is exactly what we needed. His communication with the guys, the way he's intense in the meeting rooms, I think really lights the defense up. That's what they were missing. I mean, Nick Sorensen, great guy. Steve Wilkes, a great guy, but just not that same energy. They haven't had it since DeMeco Ryans was in the building. Not that a team has to have a coach that jumps up and down and is excited, but I think it does help. I mean, it helps motivate them, and it's made a big difference. So to have him back in the building, I think has rallied the defense, and I think they realize that they can't play lackluster like they did last year. They've got to start the season strong and fast, and I think they kind of rested on their laurels a little bit last year, and they were heartbroken from the Super Bowl loss. So now with him in the building and understanding the sense of urgency that they need to have, I think it makes a huge difference.
You mentioned like going from Super Bowl to really kind of flaming out in 1 year. Obviously, it had to be very disappointing for the 49ers. Do you sense that, is that part of the motivation here? There's a little bit of pride on the line to say, hey, like we were a championship caliber team and it didn't just go away in 1 year.
Oh, absolutely. I think that has an impact. But also they were so hurt after that last season, playing deep into the postseason for 4 seasons out of the last 5 before that. George Kittle said finally this year he's entering an offseason healthy. So he's another guy that if you play fantasy, if you can get a hold of George Kittle, he and Brock Purdy have worked out a lot. Brock Purdy bought a house in Nashville. And so he's been at George Kittle's compound. Now, George Kittle has a huge workout and a whole field at his house. And so he's brought tight ends over. CJ Beathard and Brock Purdy are the guys who come in and throw to the tight ends. So they've had a really good camp together as well. So, I think, looking at last year, they're re-energized, they're healthy because they had a longer off season. They were done at the end of January instead of playing deep into February. So now they're physically healthy and also mentally more prepared for the season.
Jennifer, really good rundown. Enjoy it. Give me your your guess on what kind of season you think the 49ers ultimately have.
I think, Vegas has them at 10.5 so wins, and I think that's about right. In between 10 and 11 wins, I think sounds right. When you look at the schedule and how it breaks down, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Jennifer, great stuff. Stay cool. Get in some AC.
Thank you. Good to talk to you guys.
You betcha. There's Jennifer Lee Chan from NBC Sports in San Francisco. The 49ers, but they're decimated by injuries last year. But you think about on defense already, con man. So the 49ers, I think their schedule's easy, but honestly, I think they're going to have to win some high-scoring games because their defense is just – I know they got – their linebackers are good, but their D-line right now, it's if you go on their depth chart, it's just injuries all over the place.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, right? And that just killed them so bad last year. And really for the Niners, it hasn't been a new thing. They've had injury problems quite a bit in the last decade. With the running back room has been decimated, year after year. So having Nick Bosa, if he can stay healthy, that's going to give you a chance every game. But I really like that they bring back Robert Saleh. And even those Jets teams, I know offensively they stunk, but their defense was fighting. They were competitive in a lot of their games with him, and they were on the field a lot. So I think having a guy like Saleh back on that offense goes a long way for this team. Maybe it helps them punch a little bit above their weight class. The assignments won't be missed. Schematically, they'll be very strong. And when you have Fred Warner out there, it's always going to be a good thing. But yeah, I just really like what they've been doing with this team. And I'm optimistic. Hearing the way she spoke about Christian McCaffrey and then George Kittle.
Would you take him?
I would. But
where though?
That's the question.
Where would you take him in the
first half of the first round? No. I'm not taking him ahead of Bijan, Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. There's got to be more. But, if you get towards the end of the first round, maybe the second, especially in a PPR league, I mean, he's a damn good football player. And if he stays healthy, the value's there.
Yeah, well, if he stays healthy, that is the $1 million question for sure surrounding Mr. McCaffrey. We'll come back with 5 questions on a Positive Friday edition. The Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Out on the rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave you with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Chat Ave and 118th.
McDonald's Summer Drink Days are here. Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's Summer Drink Days. Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
At the Nissan All-In Clearout, there's nothing more chill than financing an award-winning Nissan for just 0%. Enjoy the soothing relaxation of zero stress, zero worries, zero indecision. During the Nissan All-In Clearout, get 0% financing plus up to $500 bonus on some of our best-selling models. You have 0 reasons to wait. Conditions apply. See your local Nissan dealer today.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more details.
It's happened again, and construction season is in full swing. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
What's better than a family reunion? Getting the family discount. At Nisku Ford, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. And we believe our family deserves the very best.
That's why our legendary employee pricing is back. This August, get the Ford you want at the price you deserve with exclusive deals reserved for our closest kin. It's our way of saying, welcome home.
The coffee's on. Drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
I'm Darcy Spady. I'm from Three Hills, and I don't want to be Prime Minister. As an engineer and a farmer, I've built all my life, and I know that now, here in Alberta, it's the time to build. Life needs to be more affordable. Canada needs to be an energy superpower, and we need to make our communities safer. On August 18th, you have a choice. You have a candidate who sees this riding as a pit stop, or you have a candidate who understands East Central Alberta. Vote for me, Darcy Spady.
Authorized by the official agent of Darcy Spady.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.444, Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. You know what? Just so this is how official our meteorologist reports are right now. I went outside at the break because here at the new Sports 1440 studio, I can't see outside. So I had to weave way through, went outside on the west end anyway. The rain has stopped. So hopefully that's a sign for those of you that are looking to go to the game tonight. That it'll say, remember, don't let a little precipitation stop you from going to the game. It should be a good time. And Friday night, so it'll just start. It'll start your weekend a little bit better. Why not? Check it out and go to the game. I think the Elks are going to win tonight. Actually, they're going to win 2 in a row. Stop the presses. Stop the presses. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. The mattress of your dream sale goes this weekend for 4 days only. Mattresses, only $99. That's where they're starting. You can save up to $1,360 off of modular sectionals, customize your comfort, and you can lounge in style with up to $440 off genuine leather sofas. Just don't lay on it naked. It can be a little sticky at The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
And Gregor, just to add to your report via the AccuWeather, scattered showers leading up to 6 o'clock, but then I think it's going to clear off. So get out to the game tonight. It is going to be good. Question number 1 for you. Argos Elks prediction. Who's going to win? What's the score? And throw in a bold prediction as well.
I think the Elks are going to win 33-20. And I think that in of itself is a bold prediction. 2 wins in a row. Go Elks.
I will say Elks are victorious. These 2 teams have allowed the most points per game in the league, so it could be high scoring. But the I'm going to say Elks 4 games in a row that they don't allow 30 points after allowing 30 in every game to start the season. So Elks win 31-24.
Question number 2, Gregor. On the show in the last couple of days, we've talked Oilers top 6 and who we thought might be there. So on the flip side, looking at the bottom 6, what do you think the lines would be for the majority of the year?
Oh, God. I don't think there's going to be set lines for sure. Who's going to be playing in the top? Who's going to be playing in the bottom? Injuries are going to have a factor. I'm going to say some guys that I think are no-brainers in the bottom 6. Matthias Janmark is a bottom 6 player for the Edmonton Oilers. Curtis Lazar will be one of your guys. Now, he might not be in every game. In your bottom 6, the interesting one I'm going to say this because I think he's going to be more of a third line center. I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will be more minutes in your bottom 6 than in your top 6. Now, he's obviously going to play in the power play. He's going to play a ton in the penalty kill, so his minutes will still be fine. But I'm just talking 5-on-5. I think by the end of the year, he will be more of a third line center on the team. I could be wrong, but I'm just that's my little spidey sense thing. And who else then? Kapanen. I see more of his minutes being down there in the bottom 6. Adam Henrique. As much as I would like him to say, I don't think he's going to get there. So and then David Tomasek and Matt Savoy. Ike Howard's either in your top 6 or he's in Bakersfield.
Ike Howard. They're building a new addendum to the Hockey Hall of Fame right now for Ike Howard.
Yeah.
Called the Iceman Annex. Opening 2037.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Daily Faceoff, Connor. It says Trent Frederick, the Nuge, and Mangiapane as a line, and Janmark, Henrique, and Kapanen as a line. And I think they'll switch between the 2, but I would put that as the bottom 6.
All right. Now, one more, because we've also talked tiers this week in the NHL positional group. So I thank you, Travis Yost, for that article, or 2 articles. I want to ask you guys both, who is the elite tier of goaltending tandems in the NHL, and who is in the bottom tier?
It's an interesting question because, if you're Winnipeg has to be in my top tier because of this is regular season, by the way. So I would have Winnipeg. I would have Dallas in the top tier. I would have Darcy Kemper was unreal last year, so probably would have LA there. And I'm gonna go, even though I don't like their backup, I'm still gonna go Tampa Bay. So, and then bottom tier teams, San Jose's still there. I know Askarov is just on potential, but it's got to be proven. Obviously, based on the regular season last year, the Oilers is probably near the bottom right now. They're in a show me state. Could they be higher? Yeah. 2 2 years ago, people forget Stuart Skinner was a top 8 goalie in wins first, save percentage, goals against average, goals saved above expected. So it's capable of doing it, but based off of last year, you got to go in there.
I don't know how many you think you need to put in a tier, Connor, but like if it's like 5 teams, maybe. What are you thinking?
Your call.
Yeah, well,
if you think there's only one elite tier of goal, like one team that's elite, you can put one team in.
The game's changed so much. Like we've talked about it before, but like back in the day, my bedroom was all goalies posters, and it was like franchise goalies like Cujo and Ed Belfour and Patrick Waugh. I think people who grew up in the 90s watching hockey as kids, we have way higher expectations for goalies than is maybe reasonable in a 2025 environment. Having said that, I'd put Winnipeg there. I'd put Florida in that group. The Rangers, maybe the Caps. One of the bad goalies. Pittsburgh. Columbus. Maybe Boston.
Columbus is a good one. Their goaltending was terrible last year, too.
Minnesota. Rest in retirement to the Flower. In Anaheim, maybe? Anaheim's brutal.
All right.
Dustall's good, man.
You think?
Oh, God, yeah. Dustall is really good. Their team defense isn't good, but Dustall's good.
Final question, boys. No, question 4. Thomas Mueller landing with the Whitecaps. What do you guys think is the greatest international star to come to North America to play? Not talking just soccer or football, any sport.
Well, you know I'm going to go with Neil Yakupov. First pick overall in the entry draft. Scored a goal, slid across his knees on the ice, cheering. Probably David Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
I will go with Dirk Nowitzki because he was here for his entire career and was elite.
I like it. I'll throw in Messi, pretty big when he came over and joined.
Yeah, no, it was big
Miami.
for sure, but and he's still good, but it was at the tail end of his career, right?
Oh,
That's why.
The way it works mostly in soccer. Final question for you guys. On this day in 1979, Apocalypse Now was released. So in honor of that, what is your favorite war movie?
I think the easy one, Saving Private Ryan, Tom Hanks. That's the low-hanging fruit. But for a bit more obscure, have you ever seen Enemy at the Gates, Connor?
It's one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Yeah, Vasily Zaitsev.
Oh, the best.
Great movie.
And a good window on Soviet war life.
Yeah.
Which you normally don't ever see.
That was a good one.
Great one.
I own the DVD.
Oh, bravo.
Who are we talking to?
I really like
now?
that movie.
Connor Halley, seen it.
I show that movie to everyone. I love it.
He's a
great
prepper.
soundtrack too.
Really?
Yeah, I love the scores.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at the con man, and he's all about the music when it comes to his. It's all about the man. There's, you know what? Like there is a lot of good war movies. Like I love war movies. So, like when you go, like I could go through these for days. Like I actually really liked Fury with Brad Pitt.
Yep.
I wouldn't put it as my number one, but I quite like that movie for sure. I'm trying to go ones I've seen, like Saving Private Ryan was obviously fantastic.
Storming the Beach, that initial scene in the movie.
Oh yeah, no, that
is probably the greatest scene in all movies in terms of like realism.
Well, you talk to people that were actually there, and they said like that's how, and it was awful. Like you watch it, it's literally like you step off there. You're not doing anything like great to avoid. It's just your pure luck, whether you get hit or not. Like wild stuff, man.
I remember seeing that in the theater, and like people in the theater like having to cover their eyes because they couldn't handle it.
Well, yeah, like war is not like I know you play the video games and people are like, oh yeah, it's cool, let's go to war. I'm like, yeah, not until you have to do it. Hand-to-hand combat, or you're shooting, so you're running for your life. Like you don't even see it coming, and just from how many feet away getting killed. Like, no, it would not be it's not something that I think is overly exciting for anybody, and there's lots of places in the world that are living it right now, so kudos to all of that. But did you guys ever see City of God?
No.
Urban gang warfare.
Who's in that?
Oh God. Because it's in I don't think there's anybody big, but it's in like Rio de Janeiro,
Brazil,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that was
in the favelas,
buddy. That was unbelievable movie. So I like that one. But there's lots, man. Like you go back, Charlie. Like there's when I was younger, there's quite a few like Full Metal Jacket and other ones like that.
That's a crazy movie.
Yeah, like good. Like Schindler's List to me is a war movie, is it not?
Yeah.
So I would have that one in there for sure. So yeah, but God, there is Like, there's lots of good ones, man.
Connor, what sits on the shelf next to Saving Private Ryan? Or sorry, Enemy at the Gates.
Yeah, well, there's not too many. Gladiator is there as well. Braveheart for a war movie, I think counts. And James Horner, who did the soundtrack for Enemy at the Gates, also did Braveheart. So there's some similarities in the musical style. And if it's a war movie, but it's not serious, Tropic Thunder.
The Thin Red Line. That's another good one.
Yep.
God, I'm thinking about a lot of them.
Panda Brothers. Have you ever watched that docuseries that Tom Hanks did from World War II?
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yes, Band of Brothers.
It's like actually 9 movies in a row.
Yeah. It is very good too, for sure. So awesome. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Cattail Crossing. Hey, early risers, if you tee off weekdays bright and early before 8 a.m., you'll get the Rise and Dine, $55, and you get the brekkie, which is great. You get the vouchers, so you can pick what you want. Check it out, cattailcrossing.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day in our city. The Elks hosting the Argos down at Commonwealth. Kickoff 7 o'clock. Grab tickets at goelks.com. In the majors, Jays in action hosting the Rangers. That gets going in about 10 minutes time. 2 games underway right now. Phillies lead the Nationals 2-0 in the first. Also in the first, Brewers and Reds are scoreless. Later tonight, Marlins in Boston taking on the Red Sox. Got the Orioles and the Astros. Royals, White Sox, Tigers in Minnesota. The Cards will host the Yankees, and the Dodgers hosting the Padres. Earlier today, Pirates knocking off the Cubbies 3-2. BMW Championship after 2 rounds. Robert McIntyre way out on top. He is 14 under par. Sitting in second, Scotty Scheffler and Ludwig Oberg rounding out the top 3 Canadians. You got Taylor Pendrith, -2. Corey Connors 1 over par. And Nick Taylor currently sitting even. And in the WNBA tonight, Mystics taking on the Fever. Sky hosts the Valkyrie Sparks in Arlington. Out in Vancouver, you got the Dream and the Storm, and then the Aces taking on the Mercury. And earlier today, the Helinka Gretzky Cup, Canada fell to the U.S. in a shootout. With that, the Americans will play Sweden for gold at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. After they got past the Finns in overtime, Canada will meet Finland for 3rd spot. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spectre of Rogers Sportsnet and Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Some people wake up and get dressed for work in a suit and tie or a nice dress. At GS Construction, we're less fashion forward and more putting our best foot forward. We wear hard hats and steel toe boots, and most importantly, we wear 50 years of experience with pride. It's not glamorous, it's definitely not easy, but it matters. We do it well. So if you'd like to be part of something where your work matters, GS Construction is hiring. Just remember, when you come for an interview, ditch the tie. See more at gsconstruction.ca.
Noodle noodle nood noodle nood noodle nood oodle noodle noods. Noodle noodle nood 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 oodle noodle nood oodle nood noodle noodle nood noodle nood noodle nood oodle noodle noods. Noodle noodle nood 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 oodle noodle nood.
Throw a load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved equipment auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. Featuring articulated dumps, backhoes, dozers, drum and pet foot packers, excavators, graders, man lifts, motor scrapers, skid steers, pavers, turf mowers, wheel loaders, plus commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's next major public unreserved industrial auctions are next Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. These major unreserved auction events include multiple auction lanes, selling a large selection of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How are you? You made it through another week. Good for you. We're into the middle of August already. August 15th, for goodness sakes. Don't tell your kids. That's just like 2 weeks left of summer. Eek. Try to avoid that one if you can. So, yowzers. But it is, it's a quick year. Quick year. And we're happy that you're here with us. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Gregor Show is always brought to you by playalberta.ca. Hope one of you win it tonight. 70 million, 10 max millions. Woo! Be a party. Come on. One of you listeners, you're due. You're due. Right? You are due to see if you can get it. Now, we're going to get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. And they are hiring. If you want to work for a place that will give you opportunity to grow and become a career, go to Indeed.com, look up GS Construction. They are hiring right now as we welcome in from Sportsnet, Mark Spectre joins us. Spec, good afternoon.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty damn good, man. Pretty good. So, you know what? Looking forward to the Elks game tonight. Can they win 2 in a row, Spec? Break up the green and gold if they win 2 in a row.
You know what? It is an opportunity for some momentum, Jay, right? Like
yes.
They did one last week. You got an opponent in this week that isn't, they're not, what do they say? They're not the 27 Yankees. It's a team you can beat. You're on your own field. Like, let's go. At some point, you got to help yourself here, right? And I would like to see the Elks help themselves. It's time to build a little momentum, and it's not going to get more opportunistic than what faces them tonight, I would say.
Yeah, and it is one where, I was looking at all the numbers. The Argos, man, they give up just as much as the Elks do. So, and actually a little bit more. So, you should be able to put up some points against them. Really, the question comes down to, do you think the Elks could get 2 sacks in one game?
Who's their highest paid defensive lineman? Smith?
Yes, Smith.
How many sacks you got this year?
I don't think he has any. Now, he was hurt for a while, but still, I don't think he had. I'd have to look it up, but I don't think he has one.
Yeah, well, that's probably not what they're paying him all that money for. Jake Serezna playing tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, well, he's a guy that's supposed to get some sacks too. So,
Mhm.
you know what? We can say poor Elks all we want, and we can cry a river for these guys. They're paying some guys some big money to get the job done, and they're not getting the job done, right?
No,
They're
they
not
are
getting the job done, man. You know,
Yeah.
if Leon Draisaitl has a 30-point season, we're going to say, Leon, you're not getting the job done. And if the guys on that D line that signed big free agent deals to come here and get quarterback sacks aren't getting any quarterback sacks, I'm not looking at a coaching staff. I'm not looking at the front office. I'm not looking at how many people come to the park. I'm looking at a couple guys that got to pull their socks up and get moving here. They're getting paid to do a job. They're not doing a job.
Spec, I just about dropped dead when you said Leon was only going to have a 30-point season. We can't even put that into the universe, that kind of crazy talk.
Yeah. Well, it would never happen, but I made my point. The guys get paid to do a job, and they got to do some version of that job. I don't expect, every guy to have a great year every single year, but there is some massive underperforming going on that D line right now.
Oh God, yeah, like really. Serezna's got one. Jared Brinkman has one, and that's pretty much it from the O line, which D line.
Not enough.
All right. Kenneth Jr. has one. Logan Jr. has one. Excuse me. Nick Anderson, who's out, he also has one for them. And you know what? They'll have opportunities. Toronto has given up some. The other thing is Nick Arbuckle's thrown 10 picks already. So the Elks coming off an interception last game. We had Aaron Grimes on earlier saying, you know what? They were just happy that somebody got the interception pool from the secondary. It's finally done, and maybe they can build on that a little bit. And they'll just kind of go from there. And then, the other side is the Elks offensive line. You got to protect Cody Fajardo here. He's like, you've given up way too many sacks and pressures here the last few weeks.
Yeah, and you can't lose the battle of the trenches on both sides of the ball because you won't win. I mean, I think the Elks are a pretty great example of that, right? Everything else that's going on your team is it gets kneecapped. If you don't win the battle in the trench, if your quarterback has no time, it doesn't matter how good your receiving core is, Jason, because they can't run a route, right? They can't run a route because the quarterback's running for his life. And it's the same, like a lot of interceptions for your DBs come as a result of pressure from your front seven. And if you're not getting any pressure, you look at them, they got one pick in their defensive backfield, I believe, all season long. A lot of that has to do with quarterbacks that aren't pressured, right? So you got to win the trench, man. If you don't win the trench, you don't often win the game.
No, not at all. Mark Spectre joins us. Spec, of course, the Blue Jays, we talked about it yesterday. It was a great game against the Cubbies, and now they've got the Texas Rangers coming in tonight. And
Yeah.
Jacob deGrom, one of the best pitchers we'd seen in MLB here for the last decade. That he himself should be worth the price of admission to watch tonight.
Well, it's a good thing you mentioned that because I'm currently watching my Apple TV subscription that I never knew I had because the Jays aren't on Sportsnet tonight, right? It's on Apple TV.
Yes, I think, most of their Friday games are.
Yeah, so I'm on Amazon today, which I don't go on very often, but when I do, I check and see what's going on with all these, like, what are they, these places are always charging you for stuff and you got to search and dig and look to see exactly what they're putting on your credit card.
Yeah.
Well, turns out I got subscriptions to about 6 different channels. One of them's Apple TV. So I went,
what a donkey.
no. The donkey's name rhymes with Melka. So anyway, I dumped all of them except Apple TV. Basically, my subscription renews in September. I'm not renewing it, but I have it until then. So then I find out subsequently, hey, the game's on Apple TV. Maybe I'll use it. Now I'm watching the game on Apple TV. I'm getting my money's worth. This is about probably a $50 baseball game for me, Jay.
Yeah, exactly. It was fantastic. Yeah, I had it first time I'm going to use it, and then might be the last time. So, there you go. That is too funny. But yeah, you look to see DeGrom tonight going on the mound against Chris Bassett, so it should be an interesting one. It's interesting. Today is, I don't know if it's not a big story by any stretch of the imagination, Spec, but the Oilers lost the rights to 3 of their draft picks. Well, they opted not to sign them, but now they're official free agents. Some NCAA guys, Luka Munzenberger, Joel Mata, Thomas Mazura. No surprise. I really don't think in any of them. I think probably the one where, they look back and say, like, why did they make the pick? Like, you're taking a flyer in the 7th round, fine. But, Munzenberger was a 90th pick by the Oilers, and not many of the scouting organizations had him even listed in the top 200. So clearly it was a little bit of a reach. And 4 years later, it looks like obviously it was a reach. So they lose the rights to them. But I'm hearing some whispers, about the Oilers spec in some areas, to look at as far as, what would they, would they take a flyer? Like, are you a big believer in PTOs? And do you think because the preseason is going to drop to 4 games only, do you think PTOs are going to become even less likely starting in 2026?
Well, it's an excellent point. I thought that right away. There's a couple things. When you go to 4 games, the best players are going to tell the coaching staff how many games they want. And
they only get 2, right? They only get 2 max under the new CBA.
So when that starts, they get 2. Is that right? So McDavid, for instance, only gets 2. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So either way, there's only 2 left for all these kids. It used to be a reward for a young draft pick to play in a couple of games, right? That reward's going to be gone. The PTO situation, I don't know how the classic PTO guy, Alex Chason, was Mr. PTO for years. Yeah. I don't know how you impress a team if you only get 2 games. That's, oh boy, you got to have some, that's really difficult. I don't see the Oilers as much of a PTO team anyway. On one hand, they got no money. On the other hand, they're awfully hard to make. This isn't like if I'm a free agent, Jay, if I don't have a contract, who doesn't have does Noah have a contract?
No, he does not. He's in top, but he wouldn't come to Edmonton. Like, he looks at the depth chart. It's not going to.
That's what I'm saying. I'm Noah Gregor. I'm looking at depth charts. I'm looking to. I got a preseason to make a team as a PTO. If that's the route he goes, I'm going to teams that aren't as good. I'm going to Calgary. I'm going to San Jose. I'm going to wherever I'm going. But I'm not picking a Stanley Cup finalist and trying to make him as a PTO. That's a probably not great strategy for any PTO. Is that fair?
Especially as a skater. And I do know in having a conversation with Stan Bowman that, the Oilers don't want a lot of extra bodies around. They haven't dug deep into any PTO despite false report out there that they have. 1 maybe, he said, maybe at the most 2, but even then it was a maybe in the conversation. And so, the one, because I've had lots of texts, people asking about it, and I get the theory behind it because of the position is the, looking at Mr. Ilya Samsonov, who doesn't have a contract. But I'm trying to think the last time a goalie was on a PTO.
Ooh.
Right?
Oh,
but
boy.
That's an interesting name. And the other name out there, and Kevin Woodley's talked about it lots. He says, James Reimer, if you were looking for a backup, that's the goalie he would sign. He said James Reimer had really good numbers last year.
I'd take James Reimer over Ilya Samsonov every day of every week of every year. Okay. Samsonov has a huge a huge issue with being hurt, even when he's not hurt. So I'm not a Samsonov guy. Talked to people in Toronto about Samsonov. He didn't leave there well. James Reimer, on the other hand, is, again, when we talk about a guy like a James Reimer coming to Edmonton, we're really talking about upgrading on Pickard, because he's not an upgrade Skinner, right?
No.
He's an upgrade on Pickard. And I think it's fair to say that James Reimer is an upgrade on Pickard. But is that, is he enough of a challenger? Like, does anyone foresee a situation where James Reimer grabs the ball and runs with it? Sure, if Skinner gets injured, you're happy you have him. But is he ever going to be a better goalie than Skinner? Does anyone think that? Do you think that?
No, probably not moving forward. I think Stuart Skinner is poised for a bounce back. I think people forget that his 2024 season was actually really good under Chris Knobloch. He was top 10, first in wins. He was top 8 actually in save percentage, goals against average, and goals saved above expected, like over 50 games. That's really good, right? Like really good for a young goalie. And the age of goalies is not something I ever overlook, because forever there's a few exceptions. There's a Marc-Andre Fleury and a Carey Price, and then there's the rest of everybody else. And most of them don't really find their stride till 26, if they ever do find their stride. And that's where Stuart Skinner's got a lot of experience. Has he had some ups and downs? 100%. But Stuart Skinner, to me, is one of the easiest candidates to have a bounce back season.
There's two parts to this story. Are there goalies in the league that are better than Stu Skinner? Of course there are.
Yes.
Can you get those guys? I'm not so sure that you can. And the last thing I feel about Stu Skinner is Stu Skinner is like the slot machine that you've been plugging money into for 2 hours that you shouldn't walk away from, right? Like, you drafted the guy, you groomed the guy, you went through growing pains with the guy. He's returned he's brought you to 2 Stanley Cup finals. Like, so much has gone water under the bridge here. I think Stu Skinner is poised to be a very valuable goalie for the next several years. Is he ever going to be Vasilevsky? I'm not going to say no, but I would probably say not likely. But is he going to be good enough to win cups with? In my opinion, absolutely. But either way, whatever he turns out to be, the investment in this guy and the return so far says to me, unless I'm trading him for a guy that is hands down better than he is, and I would make that trade, right? Unless I'm trading him for a top 5 goalie in the NHL, I'm not trading him. I'm not moving him.
That's such a good analogy, Spec, playing a slot machine for 2 hours. Like, are you really going to give up right now and leave, and some clown's going to come along and get Stu Skinner in year 7 of his career? Like,
yeah, not me. I feel, you know what? I said what I said. I think there's a lot of goaltender there. Is he ever going to be a top 5 goalie in the league? Well, 2 years ago, he was a top, I would say, Jason, you mentioned all those stats. We did this a couple of years ago. I think realistically, he was about a top 8 goalie in the NHL. It's 2 seasons ago. That is enough goalie. You can win cups with a top 10 goalie in a league. Look at the list of guys that have won cups. So if you think he's going to remain a top 10 guy later in his career, I want him on my team. I want him as my goalie.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting. You know, the other thing that you have to in a cap world is people have to, the cap matters. And so if you want to move on from Stu Skinner, no problem. But then remember, the guy you're moving on for, you're having a significant increase in cap. So somebody's got to go out. It can't just be Skinner comes in and get a way better goalie and we sing Kumbaya. No, you're going to have to weaken other parts of your lineup somehow. Just because that's how the salary cap works. So it will be something. And hey, I'm not opposed to looking at it, but you're right, Spec. To move him out for a guy who might be even. To me, I'm not sure, that's necessarily better, but just because when I look at the history of goalies and maturing and aging and lots of different things, I could see Stu Skinner. I don't believe he'll be consistently, he doesn't need to be a top 5 goalie. Can he be a top 15 goalie consistently and be reliable?
Absolutely.
and make a few more high danger saves? That's what he needs to do, because he was the best goalie in the playoffs on mid and low danger chances. So that's progress, but it's the high danger chances where he has to improve.
Sure. That's fair. So maybe, anyway, I think we've said our piece on Stu Skinner. I don't mind him. Again, I'll say this to you. If someone, we always talk about Ilya Sorokin. If the Islanders said, we'll trade Ilya Sorokin in a package, you got to send us Skinner, I'd make that trade. I'd make that trade. Right. Yes. But until that happens, hang on to what you got.
Yeah. Spec, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your new subscription.
Which one?
Yeah, well, it's true. You got so many to choose from. So don't waste too many hours. Pace yourself. Maybe Shelko will have to put you on a screen limit tonight. So,
all right.
Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you later.
All right, boys.
There you go. That's Mark Spectre, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We'll return. LT will join us. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
McDonald's summer drink days are here. Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's summer drink days. Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. TNA Wrestling makes its explosive debut at the Expo Center on Friday, September 26th and Saturday, September 27th for back-to-back nights. Buy your tickets online today. Learn more about what's happening at the Expo Center by visiting the calendar of events online at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams. Today till Monday, score dreamy 4-day deals like mattresses starting at just $99 and queen beds starting at just $399. Save the tax when you buy 2 or more major kitchen appliances and get free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $499 or more. Plus, save up to $400 off smart TVs and over $500 off genuine leather reclining sofas. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Photographers, start your cameras. It's time for Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest. Enter your hometown snapshot and show us what makes your community amazing. Whether it's a view from the farm, a stroll down Main Street, or a weekend at the rodeo, we're looking for snapshots that show off your rural Alberta hometown. Share your photo before September 2nd for a chance to win cash prizes or a donation to your favorite community group. Learn more via Vision's Facebook page or go to what'syourshare.ca.
Work never gets done by standing around. You have to put your words into action. And that's exactly what GS Construction does every single day. Our priorities are safety first, quality second, efficiency third. GS Construction works hard. It's true. But first comes the care, the planning, and the people. Underground infrastructure isn't just about machines and trenches and some traffic inconveniences. It's about doing things right. Find out more on what we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
The 8th annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order. You use promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:23. Welcome back, Gregor. Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. It's time for the Elks Report, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton, where the all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Come test drive one this weekend. Great vehicles, better service. Volvo Cars Edmonton.com, as we welcome in the host of the Lowdown, noon to 2, weekdays, Sports 1440. Also is writer of words at The Athletic. Alan Mitchell joins us. LT, how you doing?
I'm good. I know it sounds a little bit early, but I figured out what I'm going to get you for Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to get you 3 printer ink cartridges.
Oh, buddy, I don't think you can afford it. Honestly, I could not. I bought 1 printer cartridge, $270, Cayenne. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I used to buy them for like $80. It's the biggest ripoff, Staples. The biggest ripoff ever.
Oh my God!
I
remember in 2008 when I worked in sales, we ran out of magenta, and the general manager went completely off the grid. He was so angry that he had to buy magenta, and it was probably like $50 then. Now it's quadruple the price.
Well, I did actually shout out to all the listeners. I got a lot of DMs and say, hey, switch to this printer. Is this why? And then there's new ways, and the cartridges, some don't have cartridges anymore, and it's way better. So honestly, I looked at the price of a printer. I'm like, yeah, might as well buy a printer. It's cheaper than 2 cartridges. Like, what a joke. Absolute joke. And don't tell me terrorists either. I'm not buying that scam. Not in this case. Like, no, absolutely not. It's the worst. Like, holy cow, I couldn't believe it.
Every once in a while, I find something that gets Gregor, and that's when I read it. I thought I'm going to bring that up.
Oh, dude, I was just like blown away. I'm like, is this a misprint? I'm like, am I buying a 4-pack here? Like, no, 1 single one. So that might be the end of that one. I'll tell you that right now, Al. So, speaking of outrageous, here's the claim, Al. The Edmonton Elks will have 2 quarterback sacks tonight.
Oh, come on. Well, I mean, maybe you're just here's the thing. They should. They should.
You're right. Yes.
But I mean, it's such a weird year, and with all of that, I think you mentioned it the other day, with all of that, if they win tonight, and I'm not saying that it will happen, but if they win tonight, then it's like there are things that are within reach if they straighten up and fly right from here on in. Like that's the great thing about the CFL. The crossover spot, if BC falters at all, and they could, is not if they win enough games, it's not outrageous. I know that's a big, caveat. They have to win enough games, but as badly as they played, they're lucky to be where they are, I think.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. No. And that's why, hey, get on a roll here. And you know what? Toronto is a winnable game. Doesn't mean they will, but it's it's not like you're taking on 8-1 Saskatchewan where you'd think like it would be a monumental upset. Beating Toronto tonight would not be deemed a massive upset by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, it's true. And we saw last night, Ottawa is like, they're struggling for consistency. They've got all kinds of things going on, and they were not like it was late when Winnipeg put that thing out of reach. So CFL's like that. It is a great league. It's like I watch a lot of CFL, and it is wildly entertaining.
Oh, without question. Al, I know you cover all the prospects very well. And I'm actually surprised. Were you surprised at all? And, obviously they could have signed him, but they didn't. Missouri, Mata, and Munzenberger, the Oilers lost all 3 of their rights officially today because it's August 15th, right? They wrapped up their 4th and final year of NCAA eligibility. And, obviously, Missouri and Mata were long shots. The Munzenberger pick, I think is fair to say, was a reach at the time. And 4 years later, looks like it was a bad reach. Do any of these guys even play like a decent level of European pro hockey in your eyes?
I think the guy that to keep in mind to watch for is Munzenberger. And here's the thing that I think that we have to, as people, like I look at the numbers and I read the scouting reports, but we have to realize that we have limitations and scouts are paid to project these guys, pro or amateur. Munzenberger is big and he can skate and he does have a little bit of an edge, but that doesn't mean he can play at the level they need him to. So yeah. I think it, how it is, Jason, like some guys are really fast. I remember I told a scout one time, watch JF Jacques. He's fast and he's big. And the scout said, yeah, but he can't play. And so there's there is a gap between what we can say with authority and what maybe the scouts can project. And I think with Muenzer, I don't know, but I think everything looks like it's there. But there's a reason they didn't sign him. Now, somebody said on my blog today, well, Ken Holland will sign him because he drafted him. But that's different than losing a guy that you believed in. If they don't believe in him, there's no reason to take him.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And we don't know for sure that Fast Kenny will sign him, but I guess it's possible. No doubt. Al, the question, I was looking at PTOs, and I was told by the orders like 1, maybe 2, at the most for them. But I've had lots of texters asking the goaltending. There's James Reimer, who Kevin Woodley quite likes his numbers, and then there's Ilya Samsonov. Now goalie PTOs, I've looked and I was trying. It was hard to find a goalie on a PTO, but would you consider either one as a PTO, or is that just a waste of time? And you're taking away reps from your goalies.
Oh no, I would consider Reimer. I've always liked Reimer. I think that Reimer, and he's aged pretty well. I would take a chance on Reimer. In fact, I think that's just me talking, but I've always liked Reimer. I always have. I always thought he would be, pretty good. And you never know. I'm not saying he'd make the team. I'm not saying anything like that. But I think that Reimer is, he's had a really good pro career, and he's, the other thing is he's played under enormous pressure. And basically, when you're playing goal for the Oilers, you're playing under enormous pressure. You just are. So I think Reimer is a guy I'd look at for sure.
Okay, yeah, it's an interesting one. Like it's a PTO. It doesn't cost you anything. Now the Oilers already have 6 signed goalies, though, right? So that's the issue. Now they would have to, if you bring in another goalie, which I know the NHL is their main thing, then you would have to find like another league for one of your young 3 guys to play in, right? That's the one challenge here.
The one thing that they could do, if they get an extra goalie, they could send Johnson back to Sweden. Like that, the team he played with over there. I didn't see whether they're trying to get moved up to the higher league, but he had a really good year there. They'd welcome him back with open arms. Yeah. So there's a little leeway there that I'm not saying they're going to do that, but there's a little leeway there that they could. And I mean, they've got Connor Unger they signed a couple of years ago. They've got Nathan Day, and then they've got the fellow that Stan Bowman signed out of Syracuse, Tompkins, who's got he's got some real pro experience. And he's a little older goalie. I assume he's going to be the starter in Bakersfield. But you want to get a look at these younger guys too. So if they ended up signing a veteran guy out of a PTO, probably there's some things they can do. They could run the 2 young guys down in the ECHL if they wanted to, and then bring them up when they feel like they want to have a look at them. But I mean, we'll see. It's still like there's so much still to come, and then there's waivers. Like I still think DiPietro in Boston.
Oh, that's a hell of a yes.
Yeah, he's a hell of a goalie. Maybe they have to trade for him, but it's not. Stan Bowman's have been pretty good with August trades to improve the team. Emberson and Podkolzin came here, and I know they did because of the offer sheet. But if you look back on those 2 deals, those were good deals he made in August a year ago.
Yeah, Emerson's another one. It didn't, that was more of a cap dump for sure, right? To move off of Cody Ceci and make some other decisions, yada yada yada. But I'm just, to me, like a forward PTO would just be like, hey, do we need an extra body so it saves a few games? Because I don't see anybody on a PTO that look and say, wow, this guy A could make the team, and then B be a difference maker.
No, there's they've got some young guys in there. I mean, I think Lazar probably bumps Noah Filth, but I don't know that. I think Matthias Janmark is depending upon how this thing breaks down, he might have a little bit of trouble there. I mean, I don't know who's going to play 4th line center, and that'll be a big decision. Will they play Henrique or Nuge on the wing? They did Nuge a year ago. I mean, I know you've talked about playing at 3rd line center. We'll see. The one good thing is that they have options. They've got. I love their defense. People aren't talking about it, but I think their defense is really good. I think it's you and me, and that's about it. Who actually think Stuart Skinner's a good NHL goaltender? But I think that up front they're pretty set. I mean, that if they were to run, and I'm just using this as an example, if you're going to run McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge, and whoever, it doesn't matter, but Henrique or Janmark or Noah Pope or whatever, Lazar, that's four pretty damn good centers. It really is. Like, I mean, all kidding aside, Lazar was hurt a year ago, but 2 years ago he played really well. And if he can be healthy and get back to that level, then these Oilers are looking pretty good at up the spine, center and defense. And I know people won't like it, but I do like their goaltending. I know they might look to upgrade at the deadline, but I think that at $2.6 million, man, I'd run Skinner back another year. And if he plays well, then you sign him to 5 or whatever. But I'd give him this year. That's my feeling. I know I'm in the minority.
Well, you've invested a lot of money in Stuart Skinner, a lot of time, and he's taken you to 2 Stanley Cup finals. Now, has the road been perfectly smooth on the way there? No, but he has he's performed he hasn't underperformed his contract for sure. I don't think anybody can argue that. And he's a young goalie who has made strides. You know what? Improvement doesn't just mean you go up and each year you get better and you get better and you get better. It's never, if it was that easy, there'd be lots of pure great number one goaltenders in the NHL, right? Like it's not that easy. And I know you've studied it a long time, as have I. Like there's never a guaranteed escalator ride to the top that automatically keeps going up, and you're top 25 and then you're top 23 and then you're top 19, right? It doesn't always work that way. And I'm with you. I think they look and they'll see how the season goes, because they've got a lot invested in Skinner. And there's lots of reasons to believe that he can, because 2 years ago, Al, under Chris Knobloch, he was a top 10 goalie in all the key departments.
Yeah. And even sooner than that, or after the Dallas series, you look at what Skinner did 2 years in a row against Dallas. And I know that Florida has been, the tough one to overcome, but I just think that good, smart organizations, if there's a play there, you make the play. But if there isn't, there's no reason to step off of Stuart Skinner at this point. Maybe there will be, but I just don't see it right now. And Calvin Pickard played very well in the backup role. He just did. So run him back, see what's there at the deadline, and then go from there. And then next year, you're going to have more cap room, fewer no movement clauses, and maybe it'll be a little easier to make a move.
I was antiquing recently, and I found an autographed Curtis Lazar photo from the 2013 entry draft. $35, framed.
Woo!
Good buy or a great buy?
Great buy. I will tell you that I talked to Curtis Lazar several times when he was here with the Oil Kings, and you couldn't meet a nicer young person. I know people say that all the time, but what a great guy! Really, really great guy. And he was he was a better junior than he has been a pro, but he was an outstanding junior. And that Oil Kings team for me was just a special club to watch. I watched them a lot, and I'll have very fond memories of them. They're in junior hockey, you build towards something and then you try to win it and make it special. And that team was special, and Lazar was a big part of it.
Well, he's a really good character guy for your room. He's a right shot who can play wing or center. And I won't be surprised at all that he's an upgrade on Derek Ryan. It's no question in my mind. Right. So if you look at organizational depth and, the fourth line center spot, because I'm a little bullish. I would have no problem giving, if Nugent Hopkins is my third line center, trying Adam Henrique on the left wing. I'd have no issue.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just gives you more, how many centers do you have? You're lining up for face-off in your own zone. You got a lefty and a righty. That's always a good idea, right? Then you can do the strong side. So I like that the Oilers in recent seasons have had more than 4 centers. I think people look at Lazar's numbers last year and they go, well, he's a fringe guy. You go back 2 years and you look when he was healthy, he played a lot and he played well. And I think that's the player they got.
Yeah. Well, I had him on the show and he talked about the fact that basically all year long, his knee was just bugging him. Right. And he ended up having surgery from it. And then it just didn't heal properly. And Now, he's 100% healthy for the first time in over a year. So, you know what? He's a depth guy, but if all your depth guys can chip in here or there, you know what? And obviously he knows Edmonton, knows the community, he's excited to be here. So he'll add a little juice to the team. I don't mind him as a fourth line player at all.
No, me either. I think it's a good move. And now we just wait. The staying healthy will be key, because if he can, like he's taking a chance here on the contract he signed, but he has a really good year. You never know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's some positivity there. And we haven't even talked about, guys like Thomas. I don't know where the hell all these guys are going to play, Gregor. I mean, they got like 5 lines. I don't know.
Well, Al, I've said it all offseason for me. David Tomasek is without question the biggest wild card. I don't have a real accurate sense of what to expect from him at all.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, and so I know I've talked to scouts and I get different reports. A lot of them are like, hey, I think bare minimum he could be a bottom 6 guy for you. Some think he has a potential to be a complimentary second line guy. So that would be ideal. If like that, I think is maybe pretty high, but we'll see when he comes in here. He's like, I hope when he comes in that he's just like, I'm 29 years of age. I have I can go back and play another 8-9 years in Europe and make a really good living, because there's good money to be made over there. No question. So come in here and not be scared and just go after it. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, it's true. And you never know, the European guys who come over, people are like, well, the guy who's ever done this or whatever is, this guy or that guy. But, all he has to do is contribute. If he outplays, I'm not saying he will, but if he outplays Matthew Savoy, and even if he spends 20 games on the second line and then Savoy replaces him, then that helps the club, and so I think we always think about things as like, okay, he's going to be on the second line or the third line and that's set. But if he's a guy who can play up and down the lineup, well, that gives them even more utility, right? Yeah. And he played in a real good league last year and he filled the net. So let's just see what he has. It's going to be very interesting, but I agree with you. He's a complete wild card.
Al, what's the score going to be tonight for the green and gold?
It's going to be 27-20 for the Elks, and I think they're going to be behind to the fourth quarter. Not a lot, but they're going to come back and win a big one.
All right, Al, have yourself a wonderful weekend.
You too, guys. Be good.
There you go. That's Al Mitchell, a.k.a. Low Tide. We'll take a quick break. We got Wanye's World coming up next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
To Coffee Spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring Trident, tandem, and single-axle trucks with cab and chassis, day cabs and tractors, digger derricks, hydrovacs, man lifts, pickers, and refuse compactors. Info at maauctions.com.
I'm Darcy Spady. I'm from Three Hills, and I don't want to be Prime Minister. As an engineer and a farmer, I've built all my life, and I know that now, here in Alberta, it's the time to build. Life needs to be more affordable. Canada needs to be an energy superpower, and we need to make our communities safer. On August 18th, you have a choice. You have a candidate who sees this riding as a pit stop, or you have a candidate who understands East Central Alberta. Vote for me, Darcy Spady.
Authorized by the official agent of Darcy Spady.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440.
Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win 10 grand with a hole-in-one. Plus, great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The Hole-in-One Challenge. Open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's next major public unreserved industrial auctions are next Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. These major unreserved auction events include multiple auction lanes, selling a large selection of multipurpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWEL. Get your power play amped up with EWEL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EWEL.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Wrap up a busy week. Of course, not a great start for the Jays as they gave up a 3-run blast in the second inning as the Rangers lead. And anytime the number 9 hitter takes you deep on a 3-run blast, it's not a great start for the Jays, but they've had a ability to bounce back rather well. And now they're in the bottom of the second. The Elks taking on the Argonauts tonight. And according to our meteorologist, Connor Halley, looks like his last check, he's been diligently telling us what the weather looks like, and it looks like it should, in theory, so don't blame us, just blame the meteorologist, that it should clear up, which would be nice. As we get to Wanye's World, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination. Book your ride today at silentrides.ca.
Spec has got me thinking now, Gregor, being on a slot machine and leaving and having somebody else come and win on your slot machine is one of the worst things somebody who likes gambling will occur. You've sat there, you fed the machine.
So, yeah.
And the analogy that letting Stu Skinner walk to another team is that akin to that. It's a really good analogy. So I'm just trying to think of other instances where one team put all the work into a guy. Zach Hyman's a good example.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's quite a few, like young defensemen. There's like, look at Chris Pronger from the Hartford, right? He was in Hartford, then he goes to St. Louis, and obviously had lots of success there. And then by the time he came to Edmonton, like, he was a proven player, right?
Why did Hartford give up on him at the time?
Well, they didn't really give up on him. They traded for him. They traded him for Brendan Shanahan, if I'm not mistaken, right? But it was
impact trade.
Yeah, but still, as an older Shanahan, you got a younger guy. Like, lots of teams will give up on defensemen and goalies just because those positions take a little bit longer. And there's multiple, but it is a really good question of teams that have looked and said, "Oh, geez, we didn't want that guy," and then away you go. And I shouldn't say didn't want them, but in a lot of cases, that's what it is, right? And then he moves on and has success elsewhere.
Like Zach Hyman, the Leafs put so many years into him.
But he was a free agent too, right? And they didn't offer him because he was on record. They never really gave him a contract offer. They really kind of lowballed him. It's funny for an organization, like when you watch Toronto and you look at Nazem Kadri, Zach Hyman, they had the guys who had the fire.
Yeah.
They should have kept both of them and traded one of Nylander or Marner. It was a no-brainer that's what they should have done, because they had their big four were too much of the same. They didn't have the grit. Now, Hyman and Kadri don't have the top-end skill of Nylander or Marner. Fair. But you don't need all the same top-end skill. So, yeah, Hyman's a great example of a team. And I remember many people, some Leaf fans, "Oh, that's going to be the worst contract." You're like, what are you talking about? Right?
It's one of the worst aging tweets of all time that was going to be an albatross. What are we in year 5 of the contract?
Is it year 5 or 4? 27, 36. Yeah, starting year 5. Yeah, because he had 27, 36, and he scored 54. And then last year he was injured and banged up and went back and still had only 27. So the 4 years in Edmonton, the most goals, more goals he scored in any year is 21 prior to that. So
is he a free agent after this season?
No, he signed a 7-year.
Oh,
deal.
7 year. That's right.
Yeah. No, he has 3 years
7
left.
years. That's right.
Yeah. So no, he is like that's with the cap going up. It was already a good contract. It just every time the cap goes up, that just becomes a better contract. Even if his production dips a little bit, it's still a better contract when you just look at point and value and everything like that. So no, he is a good example. And there's, I'm just looking at like a lot of the top scorers in the league to see if there's any of them. Well, Jack Eichel would be one. That was more for different reasons, I would think. You look at even a guy like Brandon Hagel.
Yeah.
Right? Brandon Hagel in Chicago. People are like, oh, what's Tampa doing? They gave up all these lots of picks. Like it was a first and a second and a third. I think it was like 6 picks or something. A lot of them mid-tier. But what did that do for Chicago? Nothing. It stays at the bottom. They get a bunch of mid and lean picks. And Tampa Bay gets a guy who's playing for Team Canada, and a guy who last year he was just outside the top 10. Like he had 90 points. I'm pretty sure he had 90 points last year. So, I'm trying to look at some other guys down that list.
I think of Devin Dubnyk when he left Edmonton and then got nominated for the Vezina. And like we needed a Vezina caliber goalie so badly.
And I think people forget he had a .920 save percentage on a bad Edmonton team.
Yeah.
Right. Like he, now Devin Dubnyk and, obviously does a lot of stuff at Oilers Nation now. And I've talked to Devin before, and he admitted that he was a little stubborn and didn't want to change his style. Right. But he got to the point where you're going to be out of the league if you don't change. Right. And obviously with Korn, then in Arizona, and it worked out. And then he went to Minnesota, and it was an amazing run for him. So it was a little bit of both. Right. The organization, I don't think they knew what they had here. And then he was a little bit stubborn, didn't want to change. It's kind of like Andrew Cogliano when he was in Edmonton. I'm a center. Gets traded to Anaheim, and they're like, well, we got Kessler and we got Getzlaff. You ain't a top 6 center, top 2-line center here. And he went to the wing. And I remember talking to Andrew, who's a really smart guy, who I believe fully will be an NHL GM down the road. Mark my words on that one. But Cogliano was one who admitted that, man, once he started to play wing, it was actually better, less physically demanding for a smaller guy. And really, if it wasn't for one of the worst suspensions in NHL history, probably would have set the Ironman record. So he was one, I don't think, well, they gave him away for nothing, which I didn't like. It was like 2nd round pick or something a few years later. And obviously that pick didn't even play a game in the NHL. So that was one where, I didn't love that move by Edmonton. Looking back on it, probably gave up on him way too early. He's not a superstar player, but had a really solid career.
Remember Kirk Maltby back in the day when he went to Detroit, then proceeded to play for like another 15,000 seasons thereafter.
Oh,
and
yeah.
When he left here, we're like, he's old. Get him out of here.
Yeah, the thing about Maltby is, though, like he was always a 4th-line player. Now, when you go to Detroit and you're playing with Draper and McCarty, you got a bunch of superstars that, it fit in really well. Great. But there's a guy who is a perfect example of going to an organization where lots of guys could have played that role. I know people say, oh, I'm not downplaying what Kirk Maltby did, but that's an easier role to fill. It wasn't demanded. He's just like, hey, man, you come here. We got lots of leaders, so you're going to get to learn from some guys, and this is going to be your role. And he had a really good style that fit with how they wanted to play on that line, right? He was aggressive. He could hit, and he could skate. And then you had Chris Draper, who's an excellent 4th-line center, and Darren McCarty was tough as nails, responsible defensively, and still scored one of the nicest goals in Detroit Red Wings playoff history, funny enough. So, yeah, it is a great question because it happens quite a bit. And, we got a few texts coming in on it, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Guys, Tavares, they never should have signed him. That was the problem. Yeah, 100%, man. Said that. Where you go. Hey, guys, I heard somewhere that Skinner put on about 20 pounds before last year from Fraser. Fraser, that's incorrect. I see Stu in the room, and I can tell you there was no 20 pounds gained by Stuart Skinner. First of all, he had an extremely short offseason. It'd be almost impossible to gain 20 pounds from the end of June until September, unless it's it's not possible if you want to have unhealthy gainage of weight, but that did not happen. Gainage, sick word, underused. So, Cons, give me your thoughts. I know you and the deck man are heading down to the Elks game tonight. What's your expectation?
I think expectation-wise, run the football, get the running backs involved in this game, and find ways to get home on pressure. I think that interception, the pick 6, goes a long way for the confidence of the group. Getting Mechie back out there probably helps as well. So I'm going to go with the Elks to pick up their 2nd straight win, and hopefully the crowd leaves Commonwealth happy.
I heard beers don't count if it's raining.
Oof. Well, there you go. Nice.
I'm not counting.
That could be good.
All right,
That
now.
could be very good. Have yourselves a great weekend, everyone. The Con Man will be running the ship next week, so take a little break. So Cons and Wanye and Declan, you'll be in good hands with them talking lots of football and any breaking hockey news. They'll be all over it. Everybody, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Please do not drink and drive. Don't weed and drive. Get home safe. Don't be on your phone either. Get home safe, and we will talk to you on Monday as we get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. All of a sudden, your AC unit furnace conks out over the weekend, give them a call. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day here in the city. The Elks taking on the Argos down at Commonwealth. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. You can grab your tickets, walk up, or go Elks.com in the majors. Not a great start for the Jays. They trail the Rangers 3-0 heading into the third. Elsewhere, Nationals and Phillies tied at 2 apiece. Reds beating up on the Brewers 8-5 in the third, and the Marlins have a 1-0 lead over the Red Sox heading into the fourth. Out in New York, Mets trail the Mariners 4-3. That one also in the third. Later tonight, Orioles and Astros get the Royals up against the White Sox. Tigers in Minnesota. Yankees travel to St. Louis. Dodgers host the Padres, and the Rays in San Francisco. Earlier today was the Pirates over the Cubbies 3-2. Across the pond at the Helinka Gretzky Cup, Canada fell to the United States in a shootout. With that win, the Americans will play Sweden tomorrow, 9 a.m. puck drop. After they got past the Finns in overtime, Canada will meet Finland for the third spot, also 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And in the golf world, BMW Championship after round 2, Robert McIntyre atop the leaderboard at 14 under par. Scotty Scheffler -9, while Ludwig Oberg is 8 under par. As for the Canadians, you got Taylor Pendleton at -2, Nick Taylor even, and Corey Connors +1. And in the WNBA tonight, Fever lead the Mystics 25-16 in the second. Also in the second, Valkyries up on the sky 27-23. And after 1, Sparks have a 32-27 lead over the Wings. Later this evening, Dream taking on the Storm, and you've got the Aces and the Mercury. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it's Fox Sports Radio all night. The live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with the Saturday Sports setup. And keep it locked on the AM dial for Blue Jays baseball. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440.
Stingray Radio.